Sunday is a blind Sunday. Ain't got no prayers, half right. Sunday is a blind Sunday. Sunday.
Good morning, gearheads. He's back. That's right, a well-deserved week off, and Blind Mike is back with all of your favorite internet weirdos, so buckle in. Make sure you go to blindmike.net for all things Blind Mike. Today, Blind Mike covers Steel Toe still blowing himself. Stuttering John is as back and bald and dumb as ever. Opie is utterly confusing. And is Bill Belichick dating a lady of the night? Plus Joey Diaz on Joe Rogan, a Richard OJEDA shout out, and we meet one of BERT KRISCHER's victims. Wow, we are really taking a full load today. I know how that feels. And now, here's your host, the man who disappears for a week and the Dabbleverse nearly falls apart, the great Blind Mike Theory.
I didn't realize it would be a cum joke before I did this, but I guess that's the way it should be, and it's the way I'm sure my pal Cinema Lords would have wanted. But I just wanted to say, because it's the first time I've done this show. I've obviously been on a Kirk show multiple times, but it's the first time I've been on this show, so I wanted to pay proper tribute to our pal Cinema Lords, Nick Soares, obviously is his real name, who died just a little over a week ago now when we were off. And tragically sad. And the main reason I wanted to talk about it is because we were just at the services on Friday, which is obviously, as I tweeted, just like an awful, sad event when you're going to the funeral of a young man. But I did want to acknowledge that it was, in a way, nice is the wrong word, but like in a way uplifting to see how much he meant to so many people. That is like, it's what we've been talking about all week, and to see that kind of come together was inspirational. I feel phony using these words, but I don't know how to better describe it. But also to hear, and I wanted to do this here because I feel really gay saying it to Kirk. He'll just make me stop. But to see what Kirk has built is very cool, and to hear how important that is to so many people. And it really, when you're sitting there at a funeral and you hear in the when the pastor is delivering a speech and says, "This guy was Minifan of the Year," you're like, holy fuck, this show has really had an impact on so many people. And when you're talking to the family at the service for this 31-year-old, and they say like how excited he was every day, and they talk about his attitude toward the show, where like he got it too. Like, he's like, I was just a listener to this thing. Now I'm playing basketball with the fucking guy. Like, that really meant a lot to him. And that was, again, I don't know the right words to use because it sounds weird to say it was awesome to see, because it was not an awesome day, but that was a silver lining of it at the very least. So I didn't know Cinema Lords well, but like I said on the show, I got to be in with him a few times, and he was always fucking awesome. He was a guy you were excited to be in with. He was a good ball buster, and he just got the vibe of the show. He was fun to hang out with. Like, I got to hang out with him at Laconia, and he was like he was a bright spot in the day having him back there, because like I said, he was just a good conversationalist, and just similar interests to people on the show, which I think is what made him fit very well. And he was just didn't take any bullshit. I like going back and watching those clips of him with Alice Shattuck when he just basically tells her to go fuck herself. So He will obviously be missed, and we'll talk about it more tomorrow, I'm sure. I just wanted to at least acknowledge the great Nick Soares here today, and rest in peace, Cinema Lords. And so I will go from that into enough sappiness, because these two will definitely enrage me at some point during the day. So get in here, you ragamuffins. Casey Day and Electra are here, which will
Hello.
it will oddly worsen my mood having them around. So it's kind of nice.
Mike, she knows loads. That was a rough transition. And sorry about that.
I didn't realize. You said before we played it, you're like, hey, sorry, I would have done different music. And I was like, oh, don't worry about it. It's going to be like 2 minutes. And then I hear a cum joke right at the end. And I was like, okay, maybe I should have asked more.
Yeah,
In your
I did
memory,
not
Cinema
know.
Lords.
I'm so
No,
sorry.
Cinema Lords would have appreciated that, I think.
Oh, her tits are huge. She would have loved it.
Yeah, definitely.
Welcome back, Mike. How was vacation? Everyone's dying to know.
It was... Well, yeah, everyone is dying, Casey.
Yeah, well, oh, God. I didn't mean it like that.
It wasn't great. No,
Jesus.
it was fine. It was fine. but no, it's good to be back. So now is really the time, because it's what Cinema Lords would have wanted, for all of you to go to blindmike.net. I remember him saying that to me when he left the studio. He said, if there's one thing, Mike, if you get this out to the people, let them know to go to blindmike.net and become a Patreon and YouTube member. Kidding, of course. I don't think Cinema Lords gave a shit about my show, and neither should you. But if you're interested in it, check it out. That's where all the links are for all our shows. And you can watch these two at HackRideStudios.com.
That works, Mike. Yeah, they all work. I've bought a lot of names now. Just type in HackRide, it'll get there.
All right. Yeah. Figure HackRide and DJ Electra Fry. Support them on YouTube and everything. And speaking of supporting members of this show, friends of this show, I just wanted to play this real quick, because there's a man getting some buzz. And you guys know I'm a big liberal, and I'm looking for the next left-wing candidate to bring some sanity back to this country. And I was listening to Piers Morgan, as I always do. And I said, boys, these guys have some great ideas. I heard of a young candidate out of North Carolina that they're promoting, and I wanted to promote him to you fine people. So let's hear Cenk Uygur on Piers Morgan.
Things look quite bad for Trump. I could easily see a situation in 100 days' time, maybe not quite as quick as that, but certainly not far off it, where he might well have got a number of advantageous trade deals done, including China.
Is this
where
it?
he could have forged peace.
Yeah, it gets there. There's some build up to it.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, this was the timestamp. Yeah, I thought the same thing, but then when it comes in, I'm like, okay, that's worth it.
Okay, all right.
In Ukraine, bringing an end to that war, and might well have done the same in Gaza, in which case he would be odds on to win the Nobel Peace Prize. I mean, this is not, in other words, it's all very turbulent, it's all very chaotic.
Boy, a lot of buildup.
Yes.
Really takes the steam out of what I was saying.
Sorry.
Remember,
Well, that was the
folks.
Yes, and Cenk Uygur is the one at the top middle, just for the people who don't know.
right.
So keep your eye on
All right, now pretend we didn't hear any of that. And remember, there's a young candidate that we're really excited about, and we're going to hear about him now. I'm sure of it.
Absolutely see a pathway to that all happening in the next few months. It could happen.
What if he
Yeah,
suddenly
and
turns into an
what if he
angel?
turned into Santa Claus?
Well,
Yeah, what if he turned into
which part
Santa
of that
Claus
do you
and
think may
started
not
giving out
happen?
presents to everybody?
Yeah, but check, which part of that may
and
not
I think
happen?
all of it might not happen. In fact, Piers, I think absolutely none of that is going to happen. That's why I formed Rebellion PAC to give people a left-wing populist alternative, real economic populism. People should go check out rebellionpac.com, because we've got guys like Rogan, Richard Ojeda, and other people who are
Right,
actual.
that's what it was all for.
That's it.
That's all we want. It was a long runway, but we got there.
Yeah. I don't need to hear any more Cenk, if that's okay.
No, I'm with you, buddy.
Okay.
Is Richard Ojeda like a real candidate that people are getting behind?
Well, I mean, you look who's in the White House, and you're like, anything's possible. So yes, absolutely. As someone who has voted D sometimes in my life, I'm getting behind Ojeda, because this is a sort of hammer wielding.
Ojeda, 2026 in Congress and 2028 in the White House.
I can't wait.
That's what we're about here. That's why you've seen this turn to the left this show has done. We're getting ready for Ojeda. It's Ojeda time, baby. That was all. I didn't realize the clip was going to be so long. I'm sorry. I messed it up.
No, it's okay. I God bless Richard. Whatever you need, buddy, give us a call. He has not returned. He's not returning my email messages anymore.
Oh, I hated that Electra, but I also loved it.
You love it.
Go Jetta.
Yeah, that is amazing. God damn you.
I was very. So someone messaged me that and said, he goes, I don't know if it's worth playing, but I just heard OJEDA's name on Piers Morgan. And I said, what the hell? We'll start the show with it.
It was fun to hear his name and have Tim Pool's face make no movement. Just like stone face. Never heard of the guy.
All right. Should we get into some stuff we really talk about here? The usual business. Enough nonsense. All right. Let's get into some business here. BERT KRISCHER was called out by a young comedian. And I almost remember a few weeks ago, we played clips from BERT KRISCHER on We Might Be Drunk with Mark Norman and Sam Morrill. And I almost talked about this, but I hadn't seen the special. I did think it was weird that BERT KRISCHER brought up a special from a relatively unknown comedian. But what this guy did is create a choose your own adventure special where he essentially filmed 2 specials with the same jokes, but the punchlines are different. I'm assuming maybe this is political, where he takes both stances. I don't know. I haven't seen it, so I don't know exactly what it is. But it's basically 2 different versions of the same special where you can choose which direction you want him to go in. Pretty unique, interesting idea. I don't know if it's any good. I don't know if this guy is funny. But for some reason, BERT KRISCHER called this guy out on We Might Be Drunk. Sam and Mark defended him, and he finally responded to it on Instagram. It just happened to pop into my algorithm the other day, and I thought this was worth talking about.
Well, this is weird to talk about, but BERT KRISCHER talked about me on a podcast.
There was a guy, I don't know his name, and I don't want to try. I'm not trying to trash him at all, but like he did a Choose Your Own Adventure stand-up special.
It's me. You're talking about me. Me.
Oh, I know this guy.
Danny Jolles.
I should say
excellent.
Yeah,
He's a great
funny guy.
David Jolles is his name. I should have said that.
Yeah, JOLLES if you're Google.
Yeah.
But what's crazy about that special is it's brilliant joke writing.
Writer, me, so kind.
However, when you feel like he doesn't mean it, it took the teeth out of it, and it was like, oh, just a joke. Okay. Like it's almost weird when you like.
But I like that. I like that he tried something different.
Thank you to Sam Morrill and Mark Norman for standing
Can
up
I
for
tell
me.
you? Can I tell you what was enraging? And the reason I thought about talking about this on the show, but again, I hadn't seen the special, so I didn't think it was my place to defend this guy. But the reason that it infuriated me about BERT is he takes his shirt off on stage. You know, he's a gimmick comedian, and I don't hate BERT KRISCHER at all. I know a lot of people do. I like BERT KRISCHER. I don't think his stand-up is the greatest. I don't think it's as bad as people say either. I think it's fine. I haven't seen his new special either. I've heard it's not getting great reviews. I saw Beige Frequency really tore it down. But like, I think BERT KRISCHER is like a fine comedian. Should he be as successful as he is based on his material? I would say no, but he obviously appeals to a segment of people. He's the Jimmy Buffett of comedy. But for BERT KRISCHER to say this stand-up has no teeth, it doesn't have the grittiness of an old Carlin special, and then when he gets on stage, he rips his shirt off. That's the big show. Is like, hey, it's weird. This guy's wearing jeans and no top. Isn't that zany?
You're coming to our side, Mike, on BERT. I love it.
I like BERT. I think he's. I get the appeal of BERT, and I also get why people dislike him. The thing I've never gotten with BERT is why people hate him. Why, like, when I say I think BERT's fine, people will be like, "Oh, you're washing his balls." Fuck you, man. Like, I don't get why he inspires that level of anger. Maybe it's his laugh and his narcissism, but people get very mad about it, and that's the part I don't get about BERT. But then when I heard this, I was like, you know what? Maybe this is the part I've been missing that infuriates people, where he's trying to do, and Rogan does this too, where they put this kind of high-minded thing that is not true to them. Like, they're trying to sound smart about comedy, when in reality, like, Rogan is a guy that's like, you know, wouldn't it be great if you were gay, you could just fuck your buddy? And like, that's Rogan's material. It's the same with like Seinfeld, when Seinfeld talks very high-minded about comedy, And then he's like, why is a toothbrush clean the second time you use it? It's like, it's not that deep material, but they speak about it in this high-minded way. And I guess you could say I do that too with Why You Laughing. But I think I try not to scrutinize it in a way that seems phony, the way Bert was doing it here, because this guy brings up a very good point that I think is probably true of Bert's criticism.
I like Seinfeld's gay joke. The benefits of being gay: double your wardrobe overnight. Hey,
right. But and then Seinfeld has the gall to look down his nose at people.
You know, Bert. Here's the thing about Bert Kreischer off stage that many people don't know. He's a great guy. Everybody I know who works with him regularly says nothing but great things.
Damn it! Isn't there part of you? And I'm sure Bert is a nice guy, but isn't there part of you that's like, fuck? It's a sickness in us where you're like, I thought he was really going to trash him here. Damn it.
I got nothing bad to say about the guy. And if you came here for that, I'm sorry to say that's not what you're going to get.
Boo.
Look, he's also right. I mean, one side I don't believe. It's a choose your own adventure where you pick my opinions. One side I don't believe. I dare you to tell me which side, but he's right. But secondly, I don't know if he made it to the end of the special, because if he did, I answer this question. It has a really cool ending. And when we pitched it to streamers, one streamer in particular said nobody will make it to the end because nobody locks in on stand-up anymore. Nobody cares about stand-up like this anymore. So no one's going to
Boy, is that disheartening when you look at how big stand-up is with these guys playing fucking arenas and stadiums. You're like, God, people aren't getting to the end of specials? Like, that's enraging.
Yeah, that's not good. I mean, and Netflix is the only people like paying for this now, so they're kind of controlling the market there. That's
more or less. Hulu has started to, but yeah, you're right. Pretty much just Netflix.
And no one's going to get to the end. And I think it's crazy a streamer said that, and also they were right. Like, you know, it was an artistic accomplishment. I stand by it being an amazing special, and everybody watches it, loves it. But yeah, very few people made it to the end. And I view count wise, I totally should have just put out a heckler clip or crowd work. It would have done way better. But I made this thing instead because I believed in it artistically. So maybe watch it. I don't know if you're watching this, watch it. You choose on YouTube. It's on Don't Tell Comedy's page. It's 30 minutes front to end, and just watch and make it to the end. And you tell me what you think by the end. In the spirit of this situation, give it a watch. I thought about ending this video by taking my shirt off, and I didn't, and that's restraint.
So maybe this guy's a hack. I have no fucking idea. Like I said, I haven't watched the special, but I wanted to promote this to people because, as he kind of points out at the end there, it did infuriate me to hear a guy, and then when you hear David Jolles explain, you're like, that sounds like Bert. He probably did not get to the end of this. So to go on a big platform that is bigger, by the way, when Bert's on it, that's probably going to get more views because Bert's a name that the algorithm likes. So you're saying to a lot of people, hey, this guy is a hack, basically. This guy has no teeth. He's a fraud. He's a phony. He doesn't believe in his art. When at the end, he acknowledges that and writes something about what this special is. And that does seem like Bert to just say, oh, it's a choose your own adventure special. I'm just going to make up an opinion. And I felt like that was kind of shitty. What I like about Bert is he might see this guy's video and reach out to him. What I don't love about Bert is he'll make that into an Instagram video and pat himself on the back for doing so. So the man contains multitudes, you know? He's hard to defend, I understand that. But it did enrage me when it was like, maybe this guy fucking sucks, and maybe it's a special we could make fun of. You know what I mean? Like, maybe it's really bad. But to shit on the concept of it when you're a guy who rips his shirt off and is like, I drink a lot, and the crowd goes crazy, it is kind of like, fuck you, man. Like, that did annoy me. And I like Bert. I've been a defender of Bert. But when I saw this guy's video and him explain the process behind him making this, when we're in a time where specials are not, we should find a different word for it. It's nobody's fault, but that's the best way to get your material out there. So everyone has specials now on YouTube or wherever. And now we're at the point where everyone has multiple specials if you've been around long enough. So there's not a selective process. And to make yourself stand out, this guy figured something out. And that's a risk, by the way. And for Bert to be like, I don't like gimmicks. and then be shirtless ripping shots on stage.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty shitty. So I'm glad this guy, in his own way, kind of called him out. Like he acknowledged Bert's a nice guy or whatever. He didn't really shit on him. But I'm glad he did at least point out the kind of hypocrisy of doing that. So go check out David Jolles, and I'll do the same. I just saw this video yesterday, so I haven't had a chance to watch the special, but I will. And maybe next week I'll be like, guys, Bert was right. That was awful.
Does Mike make it to the end? That's the real question.
Well, that's the other thing. I can't get through it. I'm like, why did I defend this man?
3 minutes in. Oh, God. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
So, Mike, what is going on with your former coach in New England? Because, my God, man, it's making a spectacle out of things.
It's disheartening to the point that we don't usually talk to football on this show, much to Casey Day's chagrin.
Well, yeah.
But I wanted to talk about this because it's gotten so out of control. And I'll tell you the first thing that really bugs me. It's not even her. I bet she makes people call her Jordon. It's Jordon. What really annoys me is that people are doing it. I heard like some of the Barstool people do it. They're like, and they're not mocking it when they say it. They're going, so Jordon Hudson was in this Belichick interview. No, don't give her that. It's Jordon. Jordon is still Jordan. It's an odd way to spell it, but it's not Hudson.
No.
It's very stupid to pronounce her name that way. So that's point one of contention with me.
Mm-hmm.
But we were obviously out last week, and we probably wouldn't have even had the time wouldn't have worked. We wouldn't have been talking about it last week. So I wanted to at least acknowledge it here. This interview that everyone's talking about with Bill Belichick featuring Jordon Hudson on CBS. We leave you this Sunday morning. Is Charles Osgood still with us?
Believes. Oh, God, that's a good question.
The sounds
Electra?
of a babbling brook.
Google that for us.
Well, Charles Osgood and the guys on CBS Sunday morning had this interview with Belichick, and I'm sure you've seen it already, but here it is again.
The other change for Belichick is 24-year-old Jordon Hudson. His
damn it, Electra!
He's passed. Damn.
Sorry.
This is a somber day here.
Jesus. Charles Osgood, too? We have to grieve him now?
Creative muse, as he writes in his book.
Make sure that that's the
Jordon was a constant presence during our interview.
You have Jordon right over there. Everybody in the world seems to be following this relationship. They've got an opinion about your private life. It's got nothing to do with them, but they're invested in it. How do you deal with that?
Never been too worried about what everybody else thinks. Just try to do what I feel like is best for me and what's right.
That is the Belichick I've seen my entire lifetime. My entire cognitive lifetime. That's Belichick. He just goes, I don't know. I'm not talking about it.
He could be describing the Pittsburgh offensive coordinating system right now. Yeah.
That could be him talking about any subject. And I said earlier in the week, if there's a Hall of Fame for men who don't answer questions, men who
100%.
tell the media to fuck themselves, there's a Bill Belichick statue on your way in. He's he might be better at not answering questions than he is at coaching football.
100%.
So why he needs this, what we're about to hear, it blows your mind. And I think you see two different schools here. You see like people nationally that are like, oh, this is pretty crazy. Bill Belichick's getting dragged around by this girl who's 50 years younger than him. And then you have Patriots fans that are like, what's happening? What are you doing, Bill? What's going on? I don't want to think of this great man in this way. It's disheartening.
Yeah, but it was cute when Tom Brady was getting her like rent-a cars, but now it's getting a little dark.
Well, I'll tell you something about Brady though. Brady can get whatever he's doing to his face, and he can be mediocre in the broadcast booth, whatever. Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time. But there wasn't like a mystique to Brady. Does that make sense?
Yes.
We kind of always knew he wanted to be a celebrity. You know, he's always been a bit of a dork. Well, he had the weird stuff with his diet and plyometrics and all that stuff. But Brady's always been weird. So if Brady was dating some young girl that was running his life, we'd be like, oh, right on schedule.
Yes.
This is Bill Belichick. This is fucking. This is Red Auerbach. This is like one of not just one of the greats, but an old school guy who had mystique to him, and he's eviscerating that in his 70s. It's upsetting to watch. And by all accounts, I don't watch a lot of CBS Sunday Morning, but them saying Jordon was a constant presence in this interview, I guess for that show, that's the equivalent of like, 60 Minutes showing up at your house and questioning you in your living room. You know, like they don't do that a lot. They don't call people out or anything. So I guess for them to do that, she must have been a nightmare. You've heard the Hard Knocks thing by now, I'm sure.
Oh yes, yes. Yes. And I'm hearing stories out of North Carolina too, in the college football circles, that are like frightening.
Think of the people HBO has dealt with. You know what I mean? Like,
yes, murder.
Even just with Hard Knocks, they've dealt with Jerry Jones and all these like crazy personalities. Imagine how unbearable you have to be. And now part of it is she's a 24-year-old with no resume. She has no background in this field or anything. So part of it is just like, well, you're not going to tell me what to do. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But how unbearable she must have been to deal with for HBO to say, you know what? We're just not going to do the show. How's that? We had a unique and innovative idea to follow a college team with this legendary coach, and we're not going to do that because you are fucking annoying.
I think the question we have to ask here, Mike, is how good is it? Because this was a man that couldn't, like 6'8", 400-pound men couldn't break him. This little girl has broken him in a pussy whipped way that I've never seen.
She must suck him so dry that you can't wrap your mind around. It's a feeling I've never experienced for sure. Because there's no one. To your point, like Belichick's a guy who would watch someone else go through this and roll his eyes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is not a lifestyle he seemed to envy. Again, I don't know the man. Maybe he's always secretly been like this, but it just seems so against what we know of Bill Belichick. But we haven't gotten to the best part of the interview yet. So,
How did you guys meet?
Not talking about this.
No.
No.
Hey,
It's a
hey, lady, he made a career of that. Let him do it, and we're not talking about it.
She is cock blocking the greatest cock blocker of all time.
Wow.
The irony.
And here's the problem is like, I get people are like, hey, well, we're talking about it. Maybe it'll move some units. Maybe it'll sell books.
Mm-hmm.
Who the fuck that's interested in Jordon Hudson is going to go, you know, I'd like to hear Belichick break down the 3-4 defense. Let me hear what he says about nickel packages in his new literature. The crossover is literally no one. There's no one that's interested in this lady's Instagram that's also going to buy Belichick's wonky football book.
Yeah. Yeah, she's spicy. You remember she wore the Atlanta T-shirt, the 34-0 down 34-0 T-shirt. Like she's kind of or 23. She's a little bit of a troll. I watch college football. Leave me alone.
Well, but here's the thing: if she's trolling, like, I get, you know what? If she's trolling, I guess she's doing a good job, because if she let Belichick answer that question, no one's talking about this.
No.
If he said, we're not talking about that today, it would just be one of 40 million Belichick answers we've heard like that.
Yeah.
It wouldn't shock him. The weird thing was, I heard people criticize like the holes in his shirt and shit. I don't get that. He's always done that.
That's his brand.
That's his thing. It is. Here is where she dresses him. She's
she does.
she's the Bill Belichick mascot now.
That's one of the things I'm hearing from North Carolina is that she'll run on the field and like fix his clothes in front of the student body.
Kirk has been joking, like, well, maybe it's not joking, maybe he's serious, but Kirk's been saying she's going to be on the sidelines this season.
She's calling plays, 100%.
And I was like, haha, obviously not. Until I realized, like, as I said, he might be better at not answering questions, and she's right there over his shoulder. I actually don't think that's a far-fetched idea that she's on the sidelines.
What if like 10 years from now she's like defensive coordinator at Detroit or something? She just learned enough from Belichick where she's in the
She
league
moves
now.
on. She actually gets a gig. And you're like, she's not bad. She's not bad.
Is comfortable commenting on, though Hudson has recently posted about it on Instagram.
You joined InstaFace, as you put it. I love that. There's some great pictures of you and Jordon, where you're a fisherman and she's a mermaid. It's charming. It's a different side of you. What's the reaction been like?
Oh, does that hurt me to hear? Oh my God! If you grew up a Celtics fan and Larry Bird was doing this, like I don't know how to get people. There honestly there are finite examples of who I could compare this to, because Belichick is especially in this day and age, an incredibly rare guy that had mystique. Like DiCaprio still kind of has mystique because he's not on social media and shit. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But in the social media era, people don't have that anymore. You see way too much of people. And Bill at 73 said, "Let me throw my hat in the ring. Let's ruin everything I've built."
I'm going to need him to get up on the whiteboard with those X's and O's and show me what she does in the bedroom, because how did she neuter this guy?
It has to be so good that
me too.
It has to be so good that Belichick describing it would make you come. You know what I mean? Like it has to be unreal.
Belichick
to
doing
wear that shirt. Like, how many holes does he need?
Well, so
He's
that's
already
the
got
thing.
her holes.
Here's the thing. All right. Here's the thing, though, Electra. That's what he's always done, is worn like ratty clothes and the sleeves cut off and all that shit. But what is enraging about this is like he got that hoodie a week ago.
It's distressed.
You know what I mean? Now it's like, hey, I'm Bill Belichick. Remember the thing I did before?
She's like, we should brand that, honey.
Yeah,
What's
exactly.
that mean?
Exactly.
Nothing. Let me do it.
What's it been like?
To have these different sort of
There
photos.
he is.
There's another
There's
one
the
where you're doing
cunt. There's the cunt we loved for 25 fucking years. Just be a smug prick to this guy. That's all he needed.
Guy's a foot away. What'd you say? I love Bill.
I know you're not into meditation or yoga or Pilates. You're balancing Jordon on your feet, and she's doing kind of the Titanic pose.
Yeah, so I'm on some of those social media platforms, but I honestly don't follow them.
There he is.
Okay.
That's all he needed to do. But for her, I wonder how many. So the rumor is also that I guess she did that even with football questions. You know, like this guy says, "Bill, how are you gonna, how are you gonna motivate these young guys? North Carolina is more known for basketball. How are you gonna inspire this to be a football organization down there in North Carolina?" And this broad steps in and goes, "He's not talking about that." It's like, fuck you, lady. He'll not talk about it on his own. He'll give us nothing without you.
There are players on his team, graduate players, that are older than his girlfriend. Think about that. It's
probably true. Yeah, Jesus.
Yeah. All right, Mike, we got some super chats here.
Just one more thing. That was the thing, is like, it was a story where people were like, "Oh my God, it's crazy. She's 50 years younger than him. Isn't that wild?" And that was the story. And she has stepped in and said, "Oh, no. The story is that I'm fucking nuts. It's not just my age. It's also that I'm insane and I want to run this man's life." So that's going to blow up, and it actually will. If this is like a years-long battle, if North Carolina is good, it probably goes away. Like if they go 11-2 this season or something.
They won't be. That's not going to happen.
But if they are.
Yeah, it's the ACC, so maybe.
But like if they're a disaster and then the family is already shitting on her. This could get really ugly, and it saddens me for old Bill.
We're all praying for that. Everyone outside of Boston is praying for that. Because
I know.
We watched you guys have way too much fun for a decade, and now we're sort of enjoying it.
All right. Super chat, you say?
Yes, Electra, you ready to read some super chats?
Sure.
No,
Merch
no.
Mouse, $1.99. I missed the HACKRIDE comedy wrap up at the end. So do I.
They still you still do that in some form or fashion.
Yeah,
We send you people over to HACKRIDE Studios after the program. Catch 22 later today.
right.
And
right.
Unboxing Eric later today.
That's right. It's a busy day. Also, HACKRIDE coming back in June, so watch for that. Puzzle box.
What? Not on my watch.
Not here. He's banned
all right.
from here.
All right.
No.
He wouldn't even attempt to.
Nope.
Merch Mouse, another $1.99. Did Steiner send you the sunglasses, Mike?
I don't know the reference.
I don't know.
There was
Steiner's
a story
wrestling
about
guy.
you leaving your sunglasses somewhere. That's why you couldn't go.
Oh,
on WATP.
Stein. Yes, I didn't connect it. Sorry. No, he did not. In fact, I mentioned this. I mentioned this to someone on Friday, and they said that I guess he was defending himself by saying, like, Mike said I could take the sunglasses back. Yeah, I did. But he tweeted, he was like, oh, there was a misunderstanding. I'm going to get Mike those sunglasses. He can keep them. I didn't want them, but it was just funny that he acted like, no, it was just a mix-up. No, he can keep the sunglasses, but no, they have not made it to my hands yet, unfortunately.
Mike, do you have a specific brand of sunglasses that you wear? Like, are they Wayfarers or Ray-Bans?
I actually don't. I don't know what these are. They're so old. I just keep them right next to my computer and put them on when the show starts.
Okay.
But the ones I usually wear out are typically Oakleys. I have a pair of Ray-Bans, but I'm usually an Oakley man.
All right, good to know. And from Hughesy's heinous Goutfoot, formerly deemed Taft, a ghost of our hippo character floats in front of the words "Game Over." Oh my God, it's a super sticker.
Yeah, super sick.
It's
That's
just a sticker.
fun. That's
Why
fun.
does it spell it out? It's so weird. I Come Buckets, $2. OJ was talking mad-ish about you yesterday.
Oh, I hope he didn't call me Bland Mike. That would really upset me. If he goes that far, we've had fun, OJ and I. But if he starts calling me Bland Mike, that's over the line. And I think he knows that. And everyone should tell him, hey, man, like, fun is fun, and he can bust my balls and everything. But at the end of the day, I am a person with a life and a family. Like, don't go that far on me. Bland Mike is too much.
Way too much. Hi, Cardiff.
Hello, Cardiff.
And I Come Buckets, $2. Tom Brady French kisses his kids.
Exactly. No, but here's the thing. Exactly. That's the Tom Brady we know. If he was doing this, if some lady was trampling all over a Brady interview, we'd be, there's our Tom. But this is Bill Belichick, for fuck's sake.
It is odd.
Flatbush Tommy, $5. I don't even think she's that incredible in bed as much as you got to remember, this man hasn't had an identity outside of football his entire life.
Maybe there's something to that. Like, she makes him feel young. And I'm sure she inflates his ego when necessary and everything. So maybe there's something to that where it's, more than sex, but not really,
But she could be his granddaughter. Okay. I don't know. I live in Southern California, and old men are dating 25-year-olds all the time.
She's his creative muse.
I guess.
And that's beautiful.
There's some big Donald Sterling type energy there with these two. You know, the right-hand arm man lady? You remember her?
Yeah. I didn't see the part of the interview where Belichick yelled, he's got AIDS!
It's working up to it. And the final one here for this segment. Oh, look who checked in.
Associate producer Ralph, hey.
Oh,
Still haven't thanked Cardiff Bland Mike. Oh.
No, this has gone too far. And I've thanked this man. Cardiff's a great man. I can't say it enough. But I'm getting to the point where I can't thank him anymore, for God's sake. He's done so much for me. There's not enough time in the day to thank him. I'd spend the rest of my life thanking him. So, at some point you got to soldier on.
You might have to get hands-on now.
Get physical.
We got one
get
more.
Physical. Associate producer Ralph, I understand the confusion, but I'm not I Come Buckets.
Oh, okay. All right, good.
Good to know.
That would be I Come Buckets is a great man. That would be very confusing if he was also associate producer Ralph.
That would be a mind-blowing one.
Yeah.
All right, time to get into Rogan time.
Oh yeah, so this was I guess while we were away, but I did want to address it because it kind of touches on something we've talked about a little bit in the past with Rogan. So Joey Diaz was on, and I maybe I notice it more than other people, but I've heard like Podcast Cringe and other places reference it as well. So maybe it's a common theme among Rogan fans, but I notice it specifically doing Why Are You Laughing? Where like there are certain guys, like for modern comedians, I'll always go to see if they've been on Rogan and Maron because I think Maron's a great interviewer as far as getting into your career. Maron essentially his formula is basically going chronologically through your career. So for Why You Laughing, it's very beneficial to get a lot of those stories out of people. And Rogan used to do a little bit of that. But now it is Rogan interviews his guests about his own interests. And there was always a little bit of that. Like I remember even real early on in Rogan, if there was a guest I liked, I knew like, okay, I'm probably gonna have to skip through the MMA stuff. But now no matter the guest, no matter their interests, no matter what they've done in their career, they just end up talking about the same. And people say like the same three things that Rogan gets into. No, it's a bit of a variety, but it's like 10 or 15 subjects that Rogan constantly brings up. And no matter the person's guest, like I've heard a lot of comedians talk about how they have to just sit there and pretend they know something about space or that they give a fuck about the Epstein list or whatever. It was a couple of years ago now, but we broke down Matt Rife's interview with Rogan, where you could see Matt pulling for where he's like, "I'm really into ghosts. You want to talk about that?" Like you see people come in with Rogan-y subjects to be like, "Does this get you?" And the frustrating thing there too is like when people do that, they're like, "Hey, Joe, I've got a lot of thoughts about what AI is doing to society." Then he'll go the other direction and not care about it and be like, "Today I want to talk about elk meat with you." And it's like, damn it, Joe. So Joey Diaz a little bit calls him out for that and gives him sort of a reality check about the direction the show has gone the last handful of years.
Like the number of people that will have a grandchild right now is significantly lower than it ever has been before.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
The fuck's it got to do with me? I don't give a fuck about the Japs.
Joey Diaz is great at putting things very bluntly. And Joey Diaz is a guy. I don't follow a ton of Joey Diaz stuff, but like he is a guy who I've listened to, and even like at a dark place in my life. I remember I had a clip on my phone forever, and I don't have it anymore. I was actually looking for it, but there was a motivational quote that Joey Diaz said that I would actually. It sounds very gay. You people will call me gay for this, but it means something to me. It was a quote that like I had in my phone for a while that I would listen to the clip sometimes on my glum days when I was feeling blue. So I like listening to Joey Diaz, and he has a way of putting things very bluntly. Let me hear that again.
I was going to say, this might be outro worthy. If you really think about it, applies to everything on the internet.
Let me hear it again with that in mind.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
The fuck's it got to do with me? I don't give a fuck about the Japs.
That might be more very good show outro worthy.
Yeah, I didn't hear that last part.
Oopsie.
That's fucking hilarious.
What the fuck is wrong with you, Joe?
Well, I think about it with us. Because I think about it with like civilizations collapsing. I think about it what we've been talking about the whole day.
Can I tell you? You know what? Maybe today, the theme of today's show between BERT KRISCHER and Rogan, maybe the theme is you people have finally sucked me in. and I'm criticizing all these guys. Maybe you've finally gotten to me, and I'm seeing what you've opened my eyes. I'm seeing what you people are seeing.
Liberalism does that, Mike. Welcome to you've come to the liberal side. Now you're looking at these comedians all differently.
That's right. Excuse me. But like with Rogan, my thought has kind of always been like, it's his show. He can talk about whatever the fuck he wants. But like when you hear Joey Diaz, who's been a friend of Rogan and such a staple on that show for so long, go, why do I give a fuck about this, Joe? And you hear Joe there. How does that not get a laugh? You heard how hard we laughed at it.
Yes.
Why do I give a fuck? Like, how does that? Joe doesn't break when he hears that. He always talks about how funny Joey Diaz is. Joe's like, well, no, it is important. Oh, all right, Joe. Are you a comedian at all? Is there a comedian in there somewhere?
Yeah, he was like on a balance beam. He got knocked a little bit, and then he caught his balance and back to the bullshit.
Yeah.
To worry about that.
I know. We don't have to worry about it.
This is fucking too much.
You're right.
This is the first podcast I'm done that I'm scared. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck is wrong with you?
You're right.
Enough with this shit.
You're right.
And politics, enough.
I know.
COVID is over.
Like,
there he goes.
There is and to be clear, I like that Joe talks about a lot of that stuff because there's part of me that says like Jeffrey Epstein clearly didn't kill himself, right? Like, is there anyone that believes that?
I did not. You're going there. No one believes that, Mike.
No. So if that's true, if Jeffrey Epstein did not kill himself, we probably should talk about it a lot. It actually is crazy that story just evaporated. So, like, if Rogan wants to get into that, I don't really mind it. But I think there's something to be said for Joey Diaz kind of pointing out, like, you've done it, you've talked about it, and it has changed fucking nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes when you have Woody Harrelson or Bill Murray on, talk about their career. Talk about fucking Zombieland, you know? Talk about something silly. It's not the end of the world if you get into some fun subject. Like the idea that he talked to Bill Murray and didn't get into... And they talked about Belushi a little bit, but really he didn't get into like SNL, any like Bill's movies. Like there was no Bill Murray talk on the Bill Murray podcast, which I think is weird.
This next one's called "What's the Difference?"
Yeah, so Joey keeps hammering this in because Rogan's kind of trying to convince him and be like, I know, but there's reasons we talk about it, and Joey's not buying it.
Comes out. Well, how is it going to make a difference in your world? It's like these idiots with the Epstein list. How is it going to make a difference in your world if Tom Hanks is on that list?
I'll tell you.
Do you not have to go to work tomorrow? Do you have to do all the same shit? That shit doesn't matter to me. I don't give a fuck who's on the Epstein list. I don't give a fuck who went to Diddy's house. It's got nothing to do with me. But in today's world, because of the internet, it makes us think it's got something to do with us. It had nothing to do with me, man.
It's a show. That's what it is.
What's the fucking show? I don't want to watch that show.
Yeah, so like, I think a lot of the people that watch Rogan's show, maybe they do want to hear that, but I think that's guest based. I think if there's someone that can have some level of insight, or back to the like Dave Smith, Douglas Murray thing, I don't think you have to be an expert, but if there's a guest on, if Giannis Pappas is on and really wants to talk about the Epstein list, do it for 3 hours. Who gives a fuck? But what's frustrating is when the guest doesn't give a... Like, you hear Joey Diaz saying, I don't give a fuck about this subject. And Joe Rogan keeps going, but here's why you should. And it's like, you're not going to convince people to care. Either they do or they don't.
Yeah, and Joey Diaz is kind of doing a public service for other comedians who probably don't have the balls or chutzpah to say anything to Joe, like, oh, yeah, no, yeah, Epstein. They just go along with it.
I think about this all the time. There's comics that can't do Rogan.
Yes.
I think about this specifically with Are You Garbage? Because I've heard them referenced on Joe's podcast a few times. And I've had the thought, oh, why isn't Are You Garbage been on? And then I immediately realized, like, Joe would do nothing fun with them. Mm-hmm. There would be no, like, hey, do you keep your toothbrush in the shower kind of talk? It would be all, like, what do you think about fucking space and... Alpha Brain, and you're looking at H. Foley, who's 400 fucking pounds, and he doesn't have any thoughts on this. No. So yeah, like there literally are people that couldn't do Rogan when that used to be a show where you could talk about anything. That's what made it interesting. And it's interesting to hear a guy like Rogan is a guy that talked about things that weren't popular. But now it's almost like he does talk about things because there are, and maybe that's part of the thing Douglas Murray was trying to get through to Rogan is like the reason these subjects keep coming up is because they're popular. Like, it's not good to talk about things just because they get more views. So maybe that, I still don't quite get Douglas Murray's argument, but maybe that was part of it, where it's like you just kind of keep refreshing these topics that have been done to death because it helps you get 3 million views on YouTube instead of 1.5 million or something.
This next one's called Do You Care?
Yeah, and it is, as Joey Diaz often is, it's harsh, but I totally get his point here.
To get capital. Are you fucking kidding me? And people are worried about the fucking Epstein list. Like, how is it going to change your life who fucking Tom Hanks was fucking in the ass? Who does it matter? And do you really care? At the end of the day, do you really care about that 16-year-old girl? No, you don't. So shut the fuck up. Nobody cares. It's just a fucking show.
It's a show.
It's a show. It's like I told you about L.A.
Yeah.
You know, I was watching
it's a compelling show.
What's
though.
that?
But there's something to be said for what Joey's saying. Like, it sounds harsh to be like, do you care about that 16-year-old girl? But I think what he's saying is none of us actually care. We're not like, oh my God, the victims. We just think it's a sexy story to talk about. It's fun. Which is, there's a grossness to that when people forget what the actual story is. And like with the Karen Reed trial you see now. I don't think anyone gives a fuck about the dead guy. We're just like, ooh, is she guilty? Is she going to go to jail?
Do people even know his name? They know
Right.
Karen's name, but do they know John O'Keefe's name?
Right. Yeah, there are a lot of people that just think it's interesting whether or not she's going to go to jail. They don't actually give a fuck that a guy died.
Right.
There was a dead guy? That's amazing.
Right.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
We have 2 quick super chats, Electra, if you can read them real quick.
I Come Buckets. I am associate producer Ralph.
Oh my God, now I don't know what to believe.
One more here. Thank you, I Come Buckets.
Coach Lev Kramer. I am associate producer Ralph.
We have a Spartacus situation going on.
This is going to be, I'm going to have to kill the real one at some point. Which one is it?
Oh, shit. All right. Guess who's back?
Who's back?
Stuttering John's back.
I remembered as you said that. I remembered who was back. It was nice to see Stuttering John was on a podcast this week, and I got to be honest. I've been the guy in the past. I was like, I'm sick of Stuttering John. We'll never talk about him again. And then that lasts 2 weeks, and I get sucked right back in. I'm now willing to admit when the guy's gone for a while, I miss him. And then when you hear him for 25 minutes or so, you're like, that's about enough. I've had my fill.
It's a small gas tank, fills up quick.
Yeah, I think what John's doing now, kind of perfect. Every couple months we get some horrible Stuttering John podcast that we can make fun of. I guess the problem is he never quite gets into a groove, so you get a lot of the same talking points. And boy, if you want fresh, brand new John material, go check out. What's the name of this podcast? Do you know?
I don't.
I can't remember it either.
I'll find it.
He's on with some Dago. I don't know. Some Jersey Dago. Type that in. Type in Stuttering John, Jersey Dago. And see, I'm sure it'll come up for you.
I'm on
it's like 600 search results here. I guess he's saying on like with a lot of Jersey guys.
But Stuttering John was on with this guy. And if you want brand new Stuttering John stories that you've never heard before, look elsewhere. Because he plays all the hits on this one, but there were some fun nuggets I thought that we should get to today.
Yeah, first one is Big Get, and I don't. That can't be true.
No, this is a big deal. You can tell what a big deal is, and genuinely, you can tell it's a big deal for the host. This guy's clearly an old Stern fan, and John just does everything he can to be like, "Oh, this is going to be a disheartening experience for you, sir."
Welcome to the ride.
Holy shit. Well, I have a special guest today. It was totally out of the blue. I met this gentleman this weekend and kind of hit it off. He actually returned my phone call. I invited him onto the podcast.
Hold on. I don't think I got news for this guy. I don't think that's a big deal. He's got a lot of time to make phone calls, as we've heard ad nauseum from the Shuli Network and other places. This guy's got nothing but time for phone calls.
The show's called Primal Scream, I guess.
Yes, okay. Yeah.
Stuttering John. What's up, my brother?
Great! Oh.
Baystone.
You see what I
How
mean
are
when I
you?
say immediately? You're like, all right, never mind. I don't miss him anymore.
And I had to turn this down. This thing was so overmodulated and compressed and amplified that it really hurt your ears. And so, yeah, the audio is not great on this.
He thinks he's an entertainer. He's like a song and dance man. Like, I could just do it. I'll come out and I'll sing a little bit, you know? The stuttering John dancers will be behind me.
Electra, real quick, has he gotten balder? Am I seeing things?
Oh, hell yes, he's balder.
It's
It looks like he
it's
took a
noticeably.
toupee off or something.
It is noticeably different, Mike.
But hey, John, embrace that. Do some
And skinnier, too.
Do material about getting balder and grosser, whatever. Like, do some material on that, and don't write the first thing that comes to your mind. I would even say, John, don't do the second thing that comes to your mind. Maybe dig way down to the 5th or 6th joke you have about being bald, and do that on stage at these horrible live shows you're doing. That's something. That's writing material. That's what a comic does. Now I sound like Bert Kreischer, but come up with something. Don't just have this generic fucking Catskills joke about getting older. Really look inward. Dig. How does it make you feel? And talk about that. Unfortunately, we didn't get that on Primal Fear, but
it's like
Primal
his
Scream, whatever the hell it is.
It's like, hey, you can take the Ozempic, but you got to stop taking the hair stuff. It's because he's skinnier but balder. It's a very weird look, Mike.
Right.
I'm scared.
Right.
Hey, buddy.
You like that name, right?
Well, I didn't know that was your last name, but it is kind of funny because Nick was nice enough to drive me home from Chillicothe in Parsippany, New Jersey,
Why?
and also with Steve Grillo, and who bummed the ride, of course. And we listened to a lot of.
Now,
Priest-
hold on. How dare you? This stranger gave me a ride home. And also, Steve Grillo, he bummed a ride. I, of course, am not a bum. By making this stranger give me a ride. You're a 60-year-old man who claims to be a millionaire. You don't have a fucking ride home, John? You got to make a fan bring you back to New York? Cross state lines, this guy. He's committing the Mann Act here.
It was great music on the way home. We had great conversation, and I drank all my beers.
It was awesome.
Wow, what an evening. It is. John talks like a 15-year-old, where he's like, oh, man, how was the ride? I finished all my beers. Isn't that badass of me? Like when Chappelle talks about how white guys count their alcohol. I assumed Chappelle was talking about like college students that are like, I had 3 shots of Jaeger, I had 4 beer. Like I assume in Chappelle's mind when he wrote that bit, it was young men, young douchebags. I can't imagine he possibly envisioned a 60-year-old father,
grandfather.
Is he a grandfather now?
Well, I mean, he's aged as a grandfather.
I don't know if his kids can do that.
Well,
but yeah, John is a 60-year-old man that is like, guys, I finished all my beers. Neat,
that's
John.
good.
So no.
Okay, this one's called Fresh Bits.
Oh, so you want to hear some new John material? Like I was giving John a little advice on comedy. I don't think he needs it. Here's some brand new John to drink in.
No, I don't know, but then again, I was brought up Catholic, and I went to my communion, and then I went to my confirmation. You know what I'm very happy about? Because my niece's son, so I guess that's my second nephew. I don't know how it works.
No, it is not.
Anyway, he's getting communion.
No, it's not your second nephew.
My niece's son is my second nephew.
This is their second nephew. Good to see you again. Come over here. Let me introduce you to these fine folks. Nephew 2.
Nephew squared is what I call it.
My second nephew. Also, John, don't worry. Just say your nephew. No one's going to hold your feet to the fire on this.
Birth certificates, please. We need to verify this nephew. Is this child yours?
They finally did the right thing. They're doing, instead of that goddamn fakakta wafer they would give us that I gagged on every single time.
Right.
Now they give them graham crackers.
They do?
Why the fuck couldn't they do that when I was a kid?
Man.
Oh! Jesus Christ, John. What is that that Catskills meets Andrew Dice Clay, that delivery that he does? What the fuck was that when I was a kid? He's doing, you know what's weird? I think back about him having Pat Cooper's son on. Did he tell Pat Cooper's kid, hey, I wish I had another chance to thank your dad. I've been doing an imitation of him in every joke that I've told for the last 25 years.
I like it. I like doing dad jokes as dice. That's innovative.
By the way, I'm not a religious guy, really. I believe I've had that wafer he's referring to once. Isn't it just a tasteless wafer?
Yeah. Yes.
Why is why is he so angry about it? That fakakta wafer, I gagged him. I couldn't get it done. He's talking about how, I forget
They're
if
real
we
dry.
have it. Yeah, right. He talks about how he goes on, but if you think this wafer bit ended there, you don't know John, my friend.
No.
You were dead wrong. He tells this story about having to have the wafer and shove it down, and it made him vomit. And it's like, what? This is just it's a tasteless cracker, John. Why are you acting like so passionate about this? And that it's the mark of a guy that really has no interests in life. That you have to make something out of nothing. You're like, oh, I bet human beings could relate to this. If I say those wafers at communion suck, where the fuck was that when I was a kid? Oh.
All I imagine is Kevin getting fed the broccoli in the office. Like, that's how they fed John the wafer.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
This next one's called Workaholic.
Oh, if you know, John has one addiction, as we all know, and it is just keeping his nose to the grindstone. He never picks. This man is working too goddamn hard. I say, John, get some rest. But he won't listen.
Even God rested. John, come on.
You know, I don't want to hear people. It's one thing, like my father was a workaholic. And I am too. Like, I'll do anything. Like, I've always said, you know, I get very kind of restless. I have my real estate license. I became a school teacher.
I get restless. This is a man that every night takes a gummy and drinks conservatively 15 beers and passes out. And he's like, I just can't tell myself to quit. I just can't take 5 minutes for myself and relax.
It's amazing. He needs to write a new book about his whole life after, you know, the Dabbleverse and call it I Get Restless by Stuttering John.
I will here. Can I give John credit for something? Is that allowed in these parts?
I'm not looking. Go ahead.
I will give him credit for this. He has dates lined up. And again, you know, I'm sure people will point out that these aren't the prestigious comedy clubs he claims to be working, but he has some dates lined up. Like, for the amount of people I'm sure are clamoring to book Stuttering John, I'm somewhat impressed that he's consistently working. Not consistent is a little too much, but like, he's out there. He's doing as much as he can, and you got to give him something for that. No?
Yeah, well, he said, I'm going to work on my act, and he did, and he's out doing it. So, I mean, kudos, I guess.
Yeah. I got to get a hold of this one-man show. I'm sure it's so much different from his stand-up, but
if he removed the squeegee bit, I'm going to protest. I need the squeegee bit.
Yeah, that has to be it.
Yeah.
You know, I passed the CBEST to become a school teacher. I mean, you know, I was a school teacher in California. I was a school teacher in Florida. So
those are by the way, those are the places he lived. They weren't flying him around the country. He lived in California, so he was a substitute teacher there, and then he moved to Florida, so he was a substitute teacher there. He's acting like I've been a substitute all over this country. When the pandemic hit, they said, John, we need teachers. So I've been driving the countryside every day, just teaching in a new school. No, they were both down the street from where you lived, John. This is not coast to coast teaching.
Yes. Nowhere in the middle, just on the coast.
Yeah.
You know, and that's where I wrote my own curriculum, you know, and then also, you know,
Is that allowed?
Probably not. Doesn't sound, not in California. It's not.
Sounds
This is a very-
illegal.
It's like, no, I could do this better. It
I'm
throws a
shaking
book on the
things up
ground.
today. I want John to star in a remake of Dead Poet Society. Tear out your pages.
Oh no.
There are college students right now all over Southern California just getting answers wrong because they had him at some point as a teacher. in the last 10
Stand on
years.
your desks and say hello to Kate Meany for me. I got her on speaker.
I've written a book, and it's just like I've always, I had 2 record deals. I mean, I just can't.
All over, bro.
Hey, you know what? I mean, and it all pays off because now I get 2 pensions.
Yeah, when you can to paraphrase the great George Costanza, when you condense everything down that John has done into like one day, it sounds decent. Like if he achieved all of that today, you'd be like, oh my God. But unfortunately, some of it was 20, 30 years ago. But he's like, listen, I teach, I've had 2 record deals, I wrote a book, I was on the Howard Stern show, the Tonight Show. Like, if that was all in the last month, you'd be like, oh, John, stop burning the candle at both ends. You need some rest. Unfortunately, it was all 20 years ago. But like, if you condense it down, you're like, that's a good sentence he just said. That sounds impressive.
Oh, he's worked on that sentence, Mike. That is the that's his life work, that sentence.
Yeah. That's it. That's his father in him working on that sentence.
I'm working hard.
I don't have to do shit anymore.
That's fucking awesome.
But I'm still doing stand-up because I love making people laugh.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go back a little bit.
Okay.
Listen to this working man. This lunch pail and thermos of coffee, regular Joe. Listen to this guy who he's just looking to make the people laugh. He's not in it for the dollar.
Deals. I mean, I just can't.
All over, bro.
Hey, you know what? I mean, and it all pays off because now I get 2 pensions. I don't have to do shit anymore.
That's fucking awesome.
But I'm still doing stand-up because I love making people laugh.
I'm a workaholic, and I ain't got to do shit. I can just sit on my ass and collect money like most workaholics.
People just tell on themselves. If you listen hard enough, people will tell on themselves. I don't do this thing. 2 seconds later, he does the thing.
John thinks it's just a word you combine. It's being an alcoholic that has worked some time in his life. I fucked the joke up, but you got where I was going.
I got it. It was good. I'm gonna give you world's greatest student. Is this.
This is very impressive. I don't know if you guys know that John attended high school. But I mean, that's something. I think if you not just go to, but graduate high school, I think that's something you should continue being commended for well into your 50s. I think people should spend the next several decades praising you and saying, oh my God, that thing that virtually everyone does. Like, unless you're in a crazy dysfunctional home, like if your parents, for all intents and purposes, aren't there, you might not graduate high school. Aside from that, like, you're just supposed to graduate high school. And John's like, oh my God, what a student I was. Even though people have uncovered he was a C student, but that's fine. But here we're going to hear. Go ahead.
Doesn't he claim he went to like Harvard or something?
Well, his son goes to Harvard.
NYU.
He went to NYU.
NYU, that's
Yes.
right. That's what he says.
Yeah. Hey, that's all try. But John, I believe it. Don't sue me, please.
Okay. I don't.
So in 12th grade, I was smart. I became a homeroom representative. So I was part of the
Wow.
government.
I don't know what that is. We didn't have that in my school. Is that not a title they give second graders?
It is a nothing class where you just hang out. You do nothing. Like
We didn't have homeroom. Like, we had on certain days, like the first day of school, we would go into our homeroom and they give you the layout of what this grade is and shit, like, where certain rooms are, all that type of shit. But we didn't have daily homeroom. We certainly didn't have a homeroom representative. Hi, I'm John Melendez. I represent homeroom number 108.
And we don't talk about it 40 years later like it happened yesterday also.
That's another important aspect of this, yeah.
Government of Plain Edge High School. Now I had my in. I had my foot in the door. So I convinced the president, this idiot, this guy named Kevin Laurie.
Like he was a page at NBC. I had my foot in the door. Anything to get into showbiz. I was elected homeroom representative, and now I have access to bigger and better things. Now I could get the ear of Jimmy Carter and his administration.
And grievances never leave this man. This man just like shit on a high school he hasn't seen in like 40 years, and his anger is fresh. It's fresh anger, Mike. Listen to this.
Foot in the door. So I convinced the president, this idiot, this guy named Kevin Laurie, and I convinced him.
He says that as if we're going to be like, oh, John, you're incorrigible. You didn't just slam Kevin like that, did you? He says it like, I'm just a little rascal. Did I say that? Oopsies. I got one in on Kevin.
To do Battle of the Bands again. So now we're going to do Battle of the Bands. So they want to pay each band $400. I said, fuck
God,
that.
I've heard this story so many
I
times.
write this letter. I type it on my own. Then we had typewriters in those days. I type the letter and I give it to...
So John would have been a senior in high school, 1985? 84? Is that right?
84 to 87, somewhere around there, yeah.
Okay, so John's a senior in high school in the 80s. Reagan days, baby. And John, they're saying to a high school student, hey, here's $400 for your band to play at Battle of the Bands. And John, even back then, his instinct was, I'm getting ripped off. You owe me more money. Where's my money? Back then, he went to the principal as if he was Dirty Deeds or the Legend or one of these people. And he was like, nah, Hundy spot, now.
Our principal, Dr. Manley. Believe it or not, that was his name.
I believe
I give
it's
him
a
this.
regular name.
So I'm at homeroom.
Which was the style at the time.
Believe it or not, what? His name was Manley?
And then the homeroom teacher goes, somebody comes with a pass. Mr. Melendez, Dr. Manley wants to see you in his office. I'm like, shit. So there I am.
John, you're pushing too many boundaries. John, you're making these students think. We can't have that.
Sitting across from Dr.
John is the slave that realized, hey, there's more of us than there are of them. And John's creating an uprising among the downtrodden. And this principal's saying, we can't have that. We have to have this guy working on the house to silence him.
John's the guy that runs for class president on, we will ban homework. No more homework.
No. You're wrong about John. His rebellion is too much for the administration to handle.
That's true.
To Manley, he goes, John? I go, yes. He goes, I want to tell you something. What you did is the most professional thing I've ever seen somebody do.
Oh, my God.
And
hold on. Wait. There are no parameters on that? He didn't say a student. He said, what you just did is the most professional thing I've ever seen anybody do.
Ever.
And this man, I'm assuming this principal lived through, Walter Cronkite delivering the news when Kennedy was assassinated.
He's from the Greatest Generation.
Yeah. That's the most professional thing anyone has ever done. People that said they were called to arms. The draft came for them to serve for their country. And they said, well, I have to do it. It's my civic duty. That was usurped by John saying, I want more money. I think we should get more money for the Battle of the Bands.
I think he made this up.
You think so?
No,
Electra?
No.
Well, no, I will push back on that, Electra, because I think this is what Casey's about to say. If he made it up, it's a well-rehearsed story. Is that where you were going?
Details.
Yeah.
Yes, the details. This guy can't remember where his cats are 90% of the times, but the details of what Mr. Manley said in this meeting 50 years ago are like at the top of his head.
Well,
Sign
there
of
is
a lie.
there's a critical detail that has changed over time drastically. So we'll hear that coming up, I think.
not only am I going to give you a gold seal on your diploma with distinctive effort,
Wow.
but I am also.
I don't even have the
get
power
you-
to do
you
that.
will
I'm
make-
just gonna. What
Go
does
buy
that
some
mean?
gold. I'm gonna go buy some gold, make a stamp.
What does that mean? Oh, John super graduated. John is a super duper graduate. So they name like, hey, Susie Matthews is the valedictorian, but really number 1A on your scorecard, the real greatest graduate we have, the golden graduate, John Melendez.
Make half of the door.
Hold on. He's already, so by this time, he's a senior in college. He's already been accepted or not accepted into college, I imagine, right? By this time of the school year that he's talking about?
Yeah, you're done by then.
What is having a golden diploma? What does that do?
It sits on your wall for 40 years if you're him.
John, I'm going to
It's
give you the
still there.
golden diploma, and with this, you can get into any college in America.
Just bragging
get a
rights
tour
in his 70s, so he
I
can talk
guess,
about it
yeah.
forever.
No, you get a tour of the Wonka factory. I mean, it's obvious.
Right after this, the principal sang a song.
Got
In
an
a
elevator and
world
flew.
of your imagination.
You're a good singer, Mike.
You are.
Oh, thank you.
effort. But I am also going to get you. You will make half of the door for each show.
Oh my God!
Because we did 2 that year, and he allowed me to cut out of classes to go to each class to promote it.
Oh my God!
Each
You must have
band-
been the bestest boy in all of Long Island, John. and I didn't even have to do my homework.
I love that principal might have been a troll and just be like, let's show everyone in the school how retarded this kid is. Go to every class and show them.
Will you come to Battle of the Band so I can make more money?
And walked out with like 2 G's each time. So
Fucking
my
manly.
band.
So that is the important. Go back a little bit because I want to hear that again. The story was, and the last time I heard him tell it, and maybe you guys or the people in the chat can correct my memory. Last time I heard him tell it, it was him talking about how his rate is $10,000. And then he launched into describing how even when he played Battle of the Bands, he got $10,000 per show. Because I remember I might have even been on Who Are These Podcasts? Because I have a vague memory of me and Carl doing the math. That would mean it was the show Battle of the Bands made $40,000.
He's so full of shit.
Wait, no, I'm sorry. Made $80,000 because it was half the door.
You have to basically pay to be in the Battle of the Bands. You don't get paid.
Was Aerosmith there? What?
Oh, I don't even have. Shame on me. Maybe I should have grabbed it. I just thought it was too long a story. He goes in to describe. Oh, you know what? Do we have him talking about Stiff Minister? I forget.
I don't see Stiff Minister on
Okay.
it, no.
He goes on to talk about the great band Stiff Minister.
By the way, title of the show today.
The shows they put on were, I mean, Ozzy Osbourne, if he saw this show, would go home and say, I'm a fraud. After seeing Stiff Minister.
Okay.
This show had like, guillotines, like they fake hanged someone. It was a wild. If you went to a Stiff Minister show, you went home not knowing what was real. You were like, that just blew my mind.
It was like Guar meets Manson at a
Yes.
high school contest. Okay.
Yeah. And this is all, by the way, that would have been before he was on the Stern Show, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
High school.
So this is all, somehow Howard never heard of him when he was in the studio.
All right, so I rewind here just to give a little context. For
Okay.
And he allowed me to cut out of classes to go to each class to promote it.
Wow.
Each band walked out with like 2 G's
both
each time. So
Fucking
my
manly.
band and the other band. Imagine that. 2 G's.
It's unheard of.
It certainly is, friend. It's absolutely unheard of. And that's 1983, 4, whatever money.
Is he saying the other band got 2 Gs too? What kind
Yeah,
of
no-
concert is this?
Oh, wait a minute. You're right. So they quartered the door.
Yeah.
If the two bands split the door, that means the door was $4,000 per show. And again, I've heard John tell this where the number was 10,000, which makes it even more astronomical. Electra, could you do this? Do some quick Googling here.
Yes.
What's $2,000 in 1983 in today's money? Give me some inflation stats on this.
I'm going to guess 6.
I want to see what John was making. That's probably about right?
Yeah, that's about right. Speaking of,
Go ahead.
that, just while she's calculating that out, I'd like to say thank you to Warren Buffett, who retired this week.
Selling stocks again, by the way.
Yeah.
Makes you
So
wonder.
turns out $2,000 from 1983 is now equivalent to approximately $6,378.94.
Casey nailed that. So that's like a band now. So there's a high school show, and it makes roughly $28,000, and they split the door with 2 bands.
What a joke.
Yeah, that happens at the House of Blues in Boston every Friday.
Yeah, Zeppelin and Floyd could maybe do that in 82. This next one's called The Band, speaking of which.
Oh, maybe this is Stiff
Yeah.
Minister. Let's hear more
Stiff
about.
Minister.
I forget how much we hear about these shows, but they get pretty raucous.
My whole life.
What was the name of the band back then?
Stiff Minister.
Stiff Minister. That's fucking awesome.
What does that mean?
And
Is
we
that
had-
a reference? I don't know. What is Stiff Minister?
It's a clergyman with a heart on.
A boner, yeah.
Yeah, that's all.
Priest with a
That's all.
boner.
He was
One
ahead of his
layer.
time. Boy, that's great, John. I wonder what John thought when he realized what the Catholic Church was up to.
Oh, I didn't think about that part of it. Oh, no.
Stiff Minister.
And our lead singer was this guy, John Carroll, so he was like a graphic artist. So we had T-shirts, and a lot of the kids in school would walk around with Stiff Minister T-shirts.
Oh, yeah.
They would write it on desks, our emblem, all over the doors.
Son, why are you burning your Led Zeppelin T-shirt? They're old, Ma. Stiff Minister is the new sound.
Mm-hmm. We had skinny puppies, but Stiff Minister would have been awesome.
Stiff Minister. We had this whole, like all the chicks loved us. It was awesome.
They're taking their tops off in the hallway. John, sign my tits.
He was a Beatle. John was a goddamn Beatle. John Lennon
Not impressed,
Melendez.
honestly. Not impressed.
Girls didn't even know he went to that. So they're like, is that John Melendez from Stiff Minister?
I went to high school with Rage Against the Machine. I'm just not impressed.
Oh, look at her flex. After, if it doesn't work, do you say, it's never been like that before? He's a soft minister. I mean, sorry.
You had the fucking principal eating out of your hand.
I like this guy just feeding John's ego. Man, all
that's how
the
you do it.
babes wanted to fuck you. You had the principal in your pocket like so many nickels and dimes.
I like Tiger Lily's comment, if I can bring it up real quick.
Please.
He was on Stern and The Tonight Show, but made this entire interview about high school.
Well,
Yes.
yeah. Stern, here's the thing. Stern and The Tonight Show, everyone kind of knows about them. And I've been saying this for a long time. People sweep under the rug the success of Stiff Minister.
They do.
There isn't enough Stiff Minister talk out there.
Stiff Minister is the anvil of anvils.
It's kind of sad. And we've talked about comics like this on Why You Laughing, where you're like, fuck, it's a shame. This guy never really got his due. He's underappreciated in his time. And now, like Patrice was like that, you know, where it wasn't until Patrice was dead where everyone started revering him as one of the greats. And it's a shame that only now we can celebrate Stiff Minister with the proper adoration that it deserves.
Like, I am desperately looking for their music online right now, and I'm not finding anything. God damn it. I was hoping to find
They were underground, man. It was the 80s. It was a crazy time.
Nope, nothing. It's nothing there. Okay, next one's called Whackbacks.
Those are two very different things. Whackpackers.
Whackpacks. Whack packs, it says.
Okay, so this is the clip. The reason I knew this interview existed is because our pal Doomspaya on YouTube alerted me to it, and he clipped this in particular, where this guy pretty innocently says, like, yeah, you were part of Stern's Whack Pack. And those of you out there that know John can probably imagine how he reacted to that.
I was talking about this with Tony or whatever, and this is no diss to your former bosses or whatever, but I feel a show is only as good as the people that are in it. I used to watch the Howard Stern
That's
show.
a very nice compliment. And actually, genuinely, I think an appropriate comment for John. A compliment, I should say. Where, like, this is the best thing I think you could say about John's role on the Howard Stern show. Say what you want, whatever you think of Howard Stern. If you think he's a total fraud, if you think he was funny, is funny, whatever. The reason that show was great is because of the toys that Howard had to play with. In part, I think Stern's a very bright guy. I don't know how funny he was. I always wonder how much, like, Jackie played into how funny Howard seemed. But regardless, like, a big part of that show was the people Howard had to work off and the genius he was able to create out of that. So I think that's a very nice compliment to pay John is, hey, you were a big part of why Howard's show was so great. That's a very nice thing to say. And listen to how it turns here.
Back in the day because of the guys in the Whack Pack and, like, guys like you.
I was never in the Whack Pack, though.
You were part of the original.
That's an important note, John, because that's the core of this guy's comment. He doesn't know. He's not. He doesn't seem like a student of the Howard Stern show. He's just like in this guy's mind, like Robin's in the Whack Pack.
Right.
It sounded like this guy was making a comment of. I'm sure there are some people that are like, oh, he was reducing John. That's kind of funny. But I look at it as, this is just a guy. This is just some fucking Goomba from Jersey that listened to Howard and was just like, oh, it was Howard and Howard's Whack Pack. This man meant no harm by it. And you so easily could have brushed by it and not thought anything, because this was not a dig.
Right.
And
the
John
context... Oh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say the context clues that he's been nice this whole... Very sweet.
Right, yes.
This whole interview.
This is just a guy that likes that he's in the room with someone from the Stern show. That's what this interviewer is.
Exactly.
And John is like, wait a minute. That wasn't a good enough compliment you were giving me.
Nope.
You got to be more like my principal and tell me what an amazing job I did.
You're no Principal Manley.
You'll never be.
No.
But I was never a Whack Packer.
They never put you in that?
No. What the fuck? Are you out of your fucking mind?
See, this guy doesn't even know. He's like, they never put you in that. That question doesn't mean anything. This guy doesn't know what the fuck he's talking. He was like, the Whack Pack, like Fred and Beetlejuice and Gary and High Pitch Eric. Like, he doesn't fucking know. He's just being
and Tom
nice.
Chiusano.
Yeah, right. He's just being nice.
You were like part of that.
No, you dumb fuck. What are you talking about, Nick?
So I'm like insulting you right now.
Well, you would think so, wouldn't you? What do you put me in with fucking Beetlejuice?
No, I'm not.
And Fred the Elephant Boy? You fucking
Hold on.
prick. Yeah.
By the way, can I say, like, yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Actually,
yeah,
actually
you're one of
lower
them.
on the list. Lower than those guys.
And people say that, like, people reduce what John was on that show. John was an employee. That is different than Beetlejuice. And I get John was lazy there, whatever. There is a difference between what John was and what Jeff the Drunk was on that show. There just is. Like, John was elevated higher. He was a paid employee that they had there every single day. And to some degree, Howard obviously liked what he provided for the show. That's something. And if people want to, like, make fun of that and say you're lower than Fred the Elephant Boy or whatever offended you about that comment, who really gives a fuck, John? Because you were there. You were part of it. John says he was one of only 6 employees, which I don't think that's right.
Yeah,
We'll get there.
Yeah, real quick, Geisha Mouth Opie, I think, has it right here in chat and said he probably thought it was the comic equivalent of the Rat Pack, like something cool to be a part of.
Right, exactly. And the guy was just like, oh, were you not in that? He listened on his drive to fucking whatever construction job this asshole had. He wasn't studying it and breaking it down the way us idiots do. He just liked that you made him laugh when you talked to fucking Billy Crystal, you jackass.
And by the way, one of the true signs that you're in the whack pack is a very defensive nature toward being called a whack pack.
I was going to ask you, I'm glad you said that because I forgot. I wanted to ask you, who else sounded like this when you accused them of being in the whack pack?
We are 160 calls in, and he still is like, I'm not weird. And then they list all the weird shit he does. It's like, so I'm not a whack packer. And he's like the king of the whack pack.
I think if you said,
Yep.
I mean, like I get like Howard's answer to this would probably be Robin, but to me, and I think most fans, if you said who's second, like who in the hierarchy, who deserves the second most respect after Howard, I would say Artie. Like some people might say Robin or Jackie or whatever. To me, it's Artie, and I think if you said to Artie, "Hey, you were a member of Howard's whack pack," Artie would go, "Yeah, basically, whatever."
He'd be like, "I was
like, yeah, I invented it."
or he might go, I mean, I guess that was more reserved for, Eric the Midget than Beetlejuice and those guys. But yeah, in a way I was, Yeah. He wouldn't stop the interview and go, "How fucking dare you?
You dumb fuck."
You dumb fuck. You've been nothing but nice to me. You gave me a ride home and let me drink all your beers. But fuck you.
Not the whack packer. Now let me finish all my beers in the back of this car.
Yeah.
But I'm saying you shouldn't be part of the butt of the joke because you were fucking
No. I was a paid employee.
Right,
I was a guy.
John, listen to what he's saying. He's saying, hey, people can make fun of you all they want, but to me, I respect what you did. And fuck you.
It just shows you how much he's looking for that fight. He's just walking around ready to fight anyone.
I've never heard anyone try to respect John as much as this man is.
He's also bigger and could just pound him into the ground.
Guy that wrote for the show. I was in the original OG. I wasn't a whack packer.
I'm sorry.
You mother father, you.
Ah,
I don't
why
give
is
a
he-
shit. Call me with a.
I don't care. No, I don't care.
Why is it? What is your mother father you? What does that mean?
That's called comedy, Mike.
He's trying to say motherfucker, right?
Yes.
I remember. You know what? I just remembered. This was my theory way back when he watched Goodfellas and kept quoting Goodfellas over and over again. I was like, oh, did he watch it on like USA or something? Like, does he think that's what they say in the movie? You mother father! I'm sick and tired of these monkey fighting snakes on this Monday to Friday plane.
It would explain a lot, Mike. It would explain a lot.
Why is he? Because by the way, earlier in the interview, he says, "Can I curse?" And the guy goes, "Yeah," and he goes, "Fucking whatever."
Yeah,
So he knows he can curse.
Limitation creates humor, Mike. He's a comic genius.
You mother father, yeah.
It's got to be something from like Meet the Fockers. It's got to be from a movie. He never makes up anything on his own. So this is from a movie that I don't know. Electra,
Yeah,
find
maybe.
out what movie that's from. Mother, father.
Yeah,
Okay, I say mother trucker. Well, I did when my son was young, but yeah.
that's really cool, Electra. You're just like John.
I am, right?
But it doesn't
I
matter.
was trying to give you a compliment.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're a whack packer. Oh, there's a fucking. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
If
yeah,
someone
you
says to me, I like genuine. If someone was like, "Oh, you're part of the Kirk Minahan Show Whack Pack," that's such a dream of mine that people will think that. You know what I mean? Like being a part of a show like that and being one of the characters on it. That's all I've ever wanted, and I'm lucky enough to be part of one. John was on the biggest one ever, and people are like, "Hey, you're a whack packer," and he's like, "How could you? How could you hurt me like this? After I let you allow me to drink all your beers in your vehicle, how could you betray me like this?"
Electra, we're Blind Mike's whack pack.
Yes, that's something
That's
to really
impressive.
hang your hat on. No, that's something you could be offended by. If someone said that to you, I would allow you being offended by that. But this is the fucking Stern show, for Christ's sake.
Can we be the blind mice pack?
I guess.
And it's Keith Callenbeck.
We're wearing out those drums today.
Well, she's too funny today.
Damn you, motherfucker!
I
you.
swear to God, I didn't mean that.
Yeah, no.
But he's right, though. I mean, you guys, Jackie, Fred, you
Yeah,
guys.
was Jackie
See?
Whack Pack?
See? He's like, no, the Whack Pack. You, Jackie, Fred.
Howard's wife, all you guys.
They don't know. They're just fucking listeners of the show. They fucked up the reference, but you know what they meant.
Famous whack packer Mel Karmazin. All those guys.
Right, exactly, yeah.
Packer, you motherfucker!
No.
Just because I stutter, I'm a fucking whack packer. You stuttering prick.
Yes. Here's the difference between you and Robin and Fred. Your name was Stuttering John, you jackass. Why do you think you were there?
They sent you out to get punched by celebrities. Yes, you're right.
It's certainly, and again, I do think, like in my mind, there is a distinction. I think of the Whack Pack as callers, like fans of the show that call in. So I literally think if you want the technical definition, I think there is a difference because John was an employee. But his role there was certainly at the least Whack Pack adjacent.
Yes.
Because when John left, who did they want to do that job? They tried to get High Pitch Eric to do that. I mean, not High Pitch Eric, Eric the actor.
Yes.
And they wanted him to talk to celebrities.
And then are you telling me that Richard or Sal are not
Right,
kind of
like,
whackbackers? I mean, they kind of
Richard's,
are, right?
Again, there's a difference because Richard and Sal are employees, but like they're Whack Pack-ish.
100%.
They shit in diapers and weigh it. Like they're kind of Whack Packers.
They blow each other on air. I mean, the definition of whack pack.
Yeah.
You were because he brought a guy on that stutters, you were the catalyst for the whack.
No,
packers.
I
How
was
about
in
that?
the OG. There was only
See,
six.
like that's what they think of. Like they're right in thinking that way.
I was in the OG.
Okay, listen to this. And you, Casey, how far back do you go with Stern? I know now, I'm sure you've listened to all the old stuff, but like, when did you start listening to Stern?
A little like about Artie, but like so when Artie got there, at K-Rock,
Well, then maybe you don't know this for sure, but maybe you'll have some insight because he's about to say, "I don't think this is right," but we'll hear his claim.
Right. There was me, Jackie, Fred, Robin.
Is that correct?
Well,
no, he said Scott there also. There's like six.
Oh, yeah,
it was me, Howard, Jackie, Fred, Robin, and Scott.
He
And
is the
Gary.
appendage. Yeah, he's the appendage. He was the last one added as an intern or whatever. So of course he's gonna say I'm the OG group.
But were those the only employees?
No, I think there were other interns at the
Yeah.
time with him. Like
Yeah.
and before him. And after him. So yes, but because he was featured maybe on air, he considers himself in that group. But no, he was just an intern who got on the air.
Right. Which again, here's the thing. John's looking at it as when people were like, "You're just an intern, whatever," and some people are maybe like go about it shittily and just try to get under John's skin. You were an intern on the Howard Stern show. That's just a fact, and that's pretty fucking cool.
Right.
If you didn't talk about it the way you did, people like me and Carl and Tukey and all these would be like, "Hey, that's Stuttering John. That's cool what he did on the Stern show." But because you're such a fucking asshole about it, we have to refute what you're saying. Because when you argue with nice guys who are like, "Hey, you're a whack packer," just like Jackie Martling, why can't you take that for what it is?
Ah, what a good point. He destroys his own accomplishments.
Right.
Like you could have been president of the United States, but the way you talk about it, no one cares or gives you any credit.
He does. So he does that again to this guy, where the guy goes, I'm forgetting the exact phrasing, but it was something to this effect. Where he goes, "Hey, so you got through to Trump, right?" And John goes, "I didn't get through to him. I prank called him." And it's like, John, getting so nasty about these technicalities. That's what started the Dabbleverse, by the way. Chrissy Mayer goes, "So you dabble in stand-up, right?" Dabble? Do I dabble? Like, getting so indignant about these who gives a fuck titles and phrasing around your achievements. That's what makes people hate you. Where if you're just like, "Yeah, Yeah. I do I guess it's not what I'm most known for, but I put a lot of work into stand-up. So I would say more than dabble, but yeah, I guess you're right. It never would have been a thing. But you're just a fucking cunt about it.
Yeah, his reaction is the thing. You know.
Yeah.
So a question about Chris Farley is next.
Okay. I titled it that way for a very specific reason. To remind myself, this is in fact a question about Chris Farley. You guys know Chris Farley, SNL legend, great movies like Tommy Boy, hilarious figure in comedy. There's a question about Chris Farley, and let's hear John's answer.
But I hung out with Lemmy and Chris Farley and Adam
How was hanging with
Sandler
Farley?
and Steve Buscemi. What's that?
How was hanging with Farley?
Great. I mean, it was just like I was one of the gang.
Yeah.
You know, that's one of the things that you don't like. And on the Tonight Show with those cold opens, I got.
Whoa. Chris Farley was in a bunch of Tonight Show cold opens?
You just skipped right past that.
How was hanging with Farley finally a question that John could make interesting? Because, say what you want about John, not a lot of people have met Chris Farley. Man's been dead for many years. He's a legend. That's pretty fucking cool. And he's like one of the notorious, his name is synonymous with partying and being a wild fucking guy. What was it like to hang out with Chris Farley? Well, it was like I was one of the guys. That's how he like, it's a layup to brag about hanging out with a celebrity. No one would have judged. If you had a great Chris Farley story, it's an opportunity where no one would have been like, John's dropping names. The guy asked, what was Chris Farley like? I mean, it was like every other time I was being awesome. Let's hear him pontificate a little more. Let's hear him go on about Chris Farley. This is still the Chris Farley answer.
Sandler and Jack Black and David Spade and like Charlie Sheen. Charlie Sheen invited me to a Super Bowl party. I mean,
This
and
is the answer
to
to how was Chris Farley? How was Chris Farley, John? Well, Charlie Sheen invited me to his Super Bowl party. Okay, was Chris Farley there? Where is this leading?
That's an LA trick, by the way. This is how you get ladies in LA. They ask you one question, you answer a different one, and you make yourself look good.
And you just inject 40 celebrities? Yeah.
Yes. This is he learned this in LA. I guarantee you.
Hate that about LA.
No, I would. I had beers at the whiskey bar hanging out with Matt Damon. George Clooney comes up to me and
Was
says,
Farley there?
Oh yeah, I forgot about
Did George Clooney go up to you because Chris Farley was like, I have a great prank, George. Here, say this to John.
It's like maybe if I say bigger names than Chris Farley, he will forgot that he asked about Chris Farley.
But why would you even want that? Because then this guy's going to go, all right, now you can get that. What was George Clooney like?
always keep him guessing. And starts talking to me. It's like, Jennifer Aniston comes up to me when, when we did the Tonight Show with friends.
Definitely.
And
No, she definitely
it's like, it's just such a charm. Jerry
John,
Seinfeld.
can we go into the dressing room and fuck real quick? Would you be all right with that? Having sex with me, Jennifer Aniston? Is that okay with you, John? Please? All right, fine, Jennifer. But I'm on the job, so make it quick.
Anyway, about Chris Farley. Comes up to me. He's also from Massapequa. So it's like one of those things that it's like it's such a surreal life.
Who? Chris Farley's? What? How was Chris Farley? And it ends with, my life has been so surreal.
That is crazy.
It seems to me, because you look at it, Lorne Michaels had a great quote. He told John Mulaney, I knew, like, when John Mulaney was dealing with real serious drug issues, Lorne Michaels said to him, I knew John Belushi for 7 years, and I've been talking about him for 50. And that to me, that to demonstrate the impact that drug abuse to that level has on someone, where it's like, we've been talking about John Belushi forever, and he died fucking 40-something years ago. For Lorne Michaels to say that about someone like John Belushi, Chris Farley to me is like an equal, if not bigger, character. When someone says, "How is Chris Farley?" It's a layup to go off. Like, describe your experience. Because even if it was like, oh, Chris Farley told me to go fuck myself, that's an interesting story. No matter your experience, people want to hear about that because they're such an interesting guy. And people want to learn more about him. And John just fucking bungles it to talk about himself.
No instincts. He has zero instincts.
It's wild.
That sort of stuff. Drunk is the next one.
Oh, well, this can't be about John. You must have taken one of our other clips and put it into this mix.
Subconsciously, I just wrote it.
Oh, good. I don't fucking drop out of high school like some of these losers. I don't fucking.
That is, by the way, crammed in out of nowhere. Just so you know, this guy didn't say like, "Hey, what's Shuley been up to?" You know, this is just completely out of nowhere. No context for it.
You know, I told you what a gold distinctive effort thing. Now I'm sure you dropped out, but you know.
Oh,
I am. I'm part of the whack pack.
Yeah. I can make a joke there, but I won't insult you.
No, go ahead, please.
No, forget it.
Hey, this guy, John. This guy just insulted himself.
Yeah.
John thinks he's Rickles. Like, John thinks he's going to go into these places and go, "Hey, you fucking idiot." And this guy's going to be like, "Oh, my God. I got an insult from Stuttering John." That's the interaction you want. No, John, here's the difference between you and Rickles. You're terrible at it. You're very bad. Rickles was a legend at doing that. And he was also a legend at making people feel like they won the exchange. Like, you could call them a dummy, and they're like, "I got what I wanted out of that." Where John is just charmless. Absolutely charmless.
No. I'm not here to insult you, Nick. You were nice enough to drive us all the way back.
I had a nice drive that day.
I did too. As long as there was beer, I didn't give a shit.
No, that's
and you got to admit, I drank, 8 beers on the way home?
See?
Yeah. Whoa!
God damn.
Whoa! And were you even buzzed, John? That's fucking awesome.
He's Spicoli.
I drank so many beers. Hey, kids. Like, does he tell this to his kids? "Oh, you should see how many beers I had last night, and I was barely stumbling."
Yes, he does. He tells his kids that. And then they go, "I need to change genders because of this man."
Whatever it is about me was not right. I just gotta change something up.
No, don't feel good in my skin. I'm gonna do something drastic here.
Did I even seem the tad bit inebriated?
Not at all.
And did I even have to take a piss at all?
No.
Yeah, that's right, man. My liver and bladder.
I love that answer from that guy. He's like, "No."
I don't know. I didn't smell your pants.
Yeah, I guess I have no fucking idea because I wasn't thinking about whether or not you had to piss.
Wait, did you piss in my car? Now I got to think about this.
I held my piss all the way. I didn't piss in this man's vehicle.
There's a little space off to the right side of the cup holder that I definitely did not piss in.
Congratulations, John. You got a gold star on your diploma in high school. And you didn't pee yourself in this man's vehicle at age 60.
Quite the bookends of life.
Trained. That's from years and years of practice.
Mm-hmm. AOL. AOL.
Okay. So this is John so eloquently speaks about 9/11. We've heard him ask Howard if he's ever seen the movie Swordfish on that fateful day. So when John speaks about 9/11, it's a real tearjerker. So this guy says, he's like, "Hey, you guys were broadcasting that day. You were in New York. That must have been pretty crazy." 9/11, the 9/11 we're all talking about, I know it comes up every year, but when I say 9/11, you guys know what year it is, right? 2001 by my account. If I remember correctly, I believe it was 2001. Listen to this joke and tell me, given the time, does this make any fucking sense?
But 2 or 3 days after 9/11, I get an email. And of course I had AOL, which is embarrassing in its own. This guy was goofing on me about having AOL. I said, "Dude, you goof on me one more time, I'm going to delete you from my MySpace account." But anyway.
But seriously, folks.
So hard not to hit the drums. So hard. I'm not doing it.
Casey, you're a little older than me.
Yes.
I was 10 on 9/11. So I don't have a great memory of like what people were using at that time. Was AOL in 2001 an embarrassingly outdated medium?
No, it was still around. It was starting to be surpassed by things by MySpace, but it was still around. They all existed together.
Right, well, the MySpace wasn't even really popular yet in 2001.
No, it was the early days of any of those sort of social media
This,
apps. So it was,
this joke makes no fucking sense.
no, it doesn't. He got the timing wrong.
I'll delete you from my MySpace. That's his version of like, I'll pick you up in my Model T. Like he thinks, but he's forgetting it's 2000. This fucking wet brain. It doesn't fit the joke. No one was like, John, 2001, MySpace. Okay, Grandpa. What are you on, CompuServe?
Hey, I use CompuServe.
Is that right?
Yeah. I'm old. I remember those AOL discs coming every day, man.
That's what my grandfather had CompuServe. It was very frustrating to try and write papers at his house.
Yes. All the early ones were terrible. Internet used to be just fun for games and stuff. I don't know what it is now.
Well, it bugged me more than it seems to bug you guys. But
well, now it's time for John's actual 9/11.
Oh no. Let's hear about this. This must be a tragic event in John's life.
That's what we were really talking about.
Yeah, we
like,
thought. Well, what I
finding-
thought is they should build the same replica, Twin Towers. Fuck you, fucking terrorist.
Yeah.
You know, but we got.
You know what they should have? They should have written that on the building. Fuck you, terrorists.
It just would have given him a target to hit.
Yeah,
Aim for the writing.
No, it's called internet terrorism. You know, and then you, like I get people.
Oh,
can't
go back a
stand
little bit.
this.
I want to hear that seamless segue.
Internet terrorism. Mike.
This is John's 9/11. Now we all remember 9/11, right? A building hit. Regis Philbin was like, it's probably no big deal. But then the second tower was hit, and people said, "Oh no, something has gone amok here. Something ain't right." And then it caused not one but two wars that lasted decades, and yet. Lady K has done to John pretty much the same thing.
Equal.
Yeah.
You know, but we got a new kind of terrorism now. It's called internet terrorism. You know, and then like I get people canceling my stand-up dates, and you know, like it's really sad because even the mob has ethics in a way. And
This is a response to the question. What was it like being on the Howard Stern show on September 11th?
I can't believe this answer. Maybe those headphones don't work. Is he just answering random questions?
When I listen to the families of the victims, I think, yeah, but you don't have these assholes getting your gigs canceled. Think about that.
You know who else didn't come home that day? My comedy career when these people canceled. God damn. How offensive. He's a New Yorker. How offensive.
John is sitting in the rubble of the Howard Stern show.
they don't go after they don't go after children.
No.
You know, but these fucking little fucking armchair warriors sitting behind their fucking computers in their mom's basement.
Just like Bin Laden.
With their box cutters at home, their computers.
They are exactly like Bin Laden and his gang of evildoers. The people who walked into Logan Airport that morning and took over those planes, that's exactly, and I mean this with no exaggeration, that's exactly what Shuli has done.
Yes, Shuli is my Muhammad Atta.
Like the fucking beat up on children, and
terrible.
Yeah, and if I knew any,
This guy,
one of those,
what a good friend this guy is being to John. Where he's like, that's terrible. It's just like Osama and the boys. You nailed it, John. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, but I'm sure it makes sense in your brain.
Over 150 bodies were never found, but tell us more about your canceled show, John.
Yeah.
Those things that I would
Tell us more about how you sold fucking 30 seats in Boca, so the club canceled the gig. That's exactly like 2 gigantic buildings falling from the sky.
He is literally doing the swordfish thing all over again, minimizing 9/11 to this stupid ass thing. He's doing a swordfish bit, Mike.
You don't do.
No.
You know what I mean? And
People get strong behind a keyboard.
yeah, they're big armchair warriors.
Yes. And
Come
Cardiff's
to my
YouTube
face.
channel was Building 7. Where did that go?
You see what the fuck happens to you. Because that's one thing. I'm not a fake tough guy. I'm a real tough guy.
You are.
And you know what? The proof's...
Just like Bush going into Iraq, oddly enough.
Yes.
John's just searching for weapons of mass destruction. Oh no, what a mishap.
Yeah, that's a great analogy.
You fucking look at AJ Benz. Ask Kim. Ask Crazy Cabby. Well, unfortunately, he's dead. Ask Ralph. Unfortunately, he's dead.
Much like 3,000
Hold on.
people at the World Trade Center.
Hold on. Listen, so that's the list of people John that have crossed John and paid the price. Listen to what he says here. So you don't want to be like Cabby, do you? You don't want to suffer the fate of Ralph, or do you?
It's in the pudding. You fucking look at AJ Benz. Ask Kim. Ask Crazy Cabby. Well, unfortunately, he's dead. Ask Ralph. Unfortunately, he's dead. But any of these guys who try to fuck with me, they got it. Don't worry about it. So you don't fuck with the stuttering one.
No. Crazy Cabby
the great-
died years later. Ralph died years later.
Is he acting like he killed them?
He's acting like he put them in the ground.
It's like radiation. They messed with me 20 years later. They get sick and die.
Ralph, who gets the... You mess with me, in 30 years, you're going to be dead, pal.
Great Army Major Richard Ojeda said, when you grow up as a stutterer, you learn how to fight at a very early
You
age.
better. You're going to take a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Powerful
Especially
words from our next president.
Exactly.
from people who call you a whack packer.
That's still... By the way, that came up 40 times throughout the interview. After he said the whack pack, John kept, out of nowhere, like right there, they're talking about 9/11. John takes them on this circuitous route through gigs canceled and Crazy Cabby dying, just to land on, remember when you called me a whack packer? I haven't forgotten. You want to end up like Ralph? Do you?
Oh my God.
It's good to have you back, but it's good to have him
he's back. It's
And
amazing.
maybe
Don't go
hibernate for another few weeks, but it's good to have him.
And by the way, I'm still waiting for like something really tragic to happen, and then someone to be on camera and go, "Oh, by the way, did you see Swordfish?" Like, people, go out there and do that. Please make that happen. Make that a meme.
That should be the next Baba Booey or something
Yes,
like that.
100,
Have you seen
100,000%. Have you seen? But only at something where like a baby died. You go, okay.
Yeah, right.
By the way, have you seen Swordfish? It has to be so tragic. All right, Electra, you ready for some super chats?
Alrighty.
Here we go.
Rumple Trenchcoat, a Columbo podcast, $5. It's like how everyone who hates Julie delights in talking about the ESO situation. No one caring about the child victims.
Oh, but going back to Joey Diaz, I assume.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, that makes sense.
Have you seen Swordfish, Mike? You see? See how that works?
Pause. Poodlerific, $4.99. I think Jordon is a dominatrix, and Bill loves it. His whole career, he was in charge of hundreds of men. He loves her being in charge, and it shows.
We didn't even get to that part where that legitimately, some people think that that's true. I don't know if I'm one of those people, but maybe.
It's not off the table yet.
Yeah.
It's sitting,
Usually that's just in the bedroom, though. That's not like flowing over into interviews on TV, you know?
No, you would think the opposite. Like,
Brass.
in the show Billions, Paul Giamatti's character likes to be dominated.
Uh-huh.
And the idea, the psychology behind that is he's such a powerful guy. He's like the Attorney General of New York. Such a powerful guy. When he's behind closed doors, he likes to be dominated. He likes to be a sub.
Exactly, yeah.
It doesn't make sense. If that is true, what Belichick is doing is the opposite of that. Where for all of us to see, he's humiliating himself.
Yes, that's right. Nick from Boston, $4.99. I don't think John was ever in on the joke when he was on Stern.
That's what's crazy is like he seemed like a guy that could take a punch like that. So I don't know if that thin skin developed after, or if he was just submissive to Howard and no one else could talk to him like that. I don't know what it was, but It has evaporated. Any ability to take a joke.
Vinny the lawyer has a good theory on this. Is because John's a full-on narcissist, and narcissists need like a daddy figure, and so John
that makes sense.
identified Howard as his daddy figure. So he does everything. Like Howard could say all the same shit everyone else says about John, but he will not react the same way.
Yeah, Howard and Jay could do whatever they wanted to him.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. Yeah, there's probably something to that.
All right.
And
couple
Steve
more here.
Morton for $5. Idle fingers are the devil's playmates. John Melendez, workaholic.
All right.
He is a workaholic.
He is.
Remind me never to try to do an impersonation on the show again.
I liked it.
Purple Trench Coat, a Columbo podcast. Did Stuttering John bet a guy he could ruin a show in 2 seconds? He did.
This guy gives him a nice introduction, and he's just do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do, just singing and trampling all over everything he said.
KFT 199. See Kyle, everyone. Oh, damn
Got
it.
her.
Yes. I
you
never.
goose.
I'm so mad.
Kyle,
Just
everyone.
kidding. Finally fired Craig. Hey, Casey.
No, Craig is still with us. Actually, heard he's been
Oh.
going from playground to playground, calling kids names, looking for a GoFundMe. Hasn't worked out yet for him.
I forgot to mention this. Craig texts me. So me and Craig did an episode of something. We recorded Why You Laughing or something. At the end of it, we talked about the live show, which it sounds like Craig has fucked up the dates for. So
Good.
probably won't happen. Definitely pencil in the dates rather than pen them in. But Craig, we were talking about that, and then we both sign off. And then Craig texts me right after that and goes, "By the way, I won't be available that Sunday. I have to go to a Mother's Day brunch." And I go, "In July?"
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, "No, on Mother's Day." I was like, okay. Why would you phrase it like that? What the fuck are you talking about? So why would you say, "By the way, that Sunday I have a Mother's Day brunch"? I don't give a shit. Whatever. We'll figure it out. So I think next Sunday is Mother's Day.
Yes,
Is that right?
Yes, I believe so.
Are you around? Do you have
Emu-
anyone you care about? Are you around that day?
It is
No,
next
they're all-
Sunday.
They're all dead.
Well, we'll
Let's
figure
do
it
this.
out.
Have you seen Swordfish, by the way?
Hamilton Burger. High school battle of the bands only mattered this much on 2 occasions: in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure and in Stuttering John's alcohol-soaked brain.
Yeah, it's a movie. It's an 80s movie that John,
Yes.
like he writes the principal, and they're like, "All right, John, we wanted to silence you, but
Yeah.
the people, the girl, all the hot girls in the stiff minister t-shirts have spoken."
It's Breakfast Club meets the Battle of Bands and Bill and Ted's. It's amazing.
Hughesy's Heinous Goutfoot, formerly Dame Tapped, with a 99-cent super sticker.
Thank you. Oh, she
Thank you, sir.
didn't get her this time. Didn't get
Thank you,
her.
buddy.
She's learning.
Ray Perbutt, $4.99.
Oh, got her.
Rebuild the towers just as they were was Howard's take. I remember him saying it live and agreeing at the time.
Probably just parallel thought, I'm sure. Just two guys totally separately having the same idea.
Oh, fuck, Stuttering John. Welcome back. It's good to see you.
Whew. I'm getting hot in this
Alright.
room. We're going to have to cruise through these next 2 topics, and I don't think we will. They usually take a while.
That's right. Well, I got a stiff minister for this next guy.
Oh, dear.
We talking about the Opester? Oh,
Yes,
Electra actually gave you an oh dear on that. Oh dear.
I had to use the word again because I want to make it the title.
All right, we talking about Opie?
We are. Yep.
All right, let's get into some Opester. So I checked out Opie's live stream the other day, and Opie's always talking about all the big stuff he's doing. So I actually checked out both shows this week, and we will get to both. But where are we starting, Casey?
We got the Day Show. That's the first one you sent. So not
Right.
the basement.
Right. Yeah, his live stream. Opie's live stream.
Yeah. Who Da Man is the first clip.
Who is the man? I know who the man. You guys probably are like, Mike, it's Sunday. Who the man is on Friday. But I find myself every morning wondering who the man this week. And Opie's going to tell us.
Gail, Richie Rich, who the man, who the man. I was fearing Richie Rich this morning. I was fearing Richie Rich because he was going to ask me who the man, 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 who the man is.
I got to be honest, I'm a little afraid of that too. I certainly never want to hear it again. So I can imagine panicking, thinking you might have to hear that.
This is whiplash going from the last entertainer to this entertainer. Oh my God.
I don't have one.
No! What?
I could go a little obscure because we have to do Who the Man.
Don't think about it on the fly, you prick. This is Who the Man Fridays. I tune in to find out who is the man. I want to know so badly.
You know the song, I Kissed a Girl and I Liked It. I think it was a one-hit wonder, even though the person, I don't even.
Katy Perry.
Isn't it Katy Perry?
Yeah.
Go back. Is there a joke I'm missing here?
No, that is Katy Perry. That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, what is he talking about? It's a one-hit wonder.
Not a one-hit wonder. She's pretty. Not
13
opposite of
number
that.
one hits.
She's a fucking astronaut. Put some respect on her name.
Girl, and I Liked It. I think it was a one-hit wonder, even though the person, I don't even know her name, that did the song, was very respected in the music community.
No, she isn't.
I Kissed a
got everything wrong. Everything wrong. She works with Dr. Luke, who everyone hates.
Hey, listen, I like Katy Perry as much as the next guy. I don't know how respected she was in music.
I just saw her singing to a turd at her concert, like on stage. That's what
I
she's
saw
doing.
her open for No Doubt, and she sang that song. That's before anybody knew who she was.
Which is still true to this day, apparently. No one,
That
no
was
one knows
her
what
one hit.
No one knows who the fuck she
Not
is, but
Opie.
Girl, and I Liked It. That song. Well, she's dead.
What?
She died in a house fire. So
What?
I don't know if we could give it to her, Richie.
What is he talking about?
is there a joke I'm missing?
Not.
Electra, get on this. Start Googling.
House fire.
I
Katy Perry.
guess search I Kissed a Girl and I Liked It. Death.
House fire.
House fire. Could it be the writer of that song?
If he knows the writer of that song, died in a house fire, I'm giving you $1 million.
Yeah,
Tied in
Jill
a-
Sabul,
Yeah.
groundbreaking wrote "Kissed a Girl," is now associated with the tragic news of Sabul's death in a house fire.
Boy,
Rescind the $1 million offer.
that is wildly obscure. But
does
why
he know
wouldn't he say, obviously not Katy Perry, who everyone's going to think of?
He might be the only person in America that knew that that lady.
Would
wrote
you
that
call
song.
that girl a one-hit wonder?
No, and Jill
'cause she
Sobel
wrote the
also had
song?
Jill Sobel also had hits. That's why it's bizarre.
Boy, this is vexing. I'd love to get into that brain and root around, see what's going on in there.
That's right.
Pass.
That would be way too twisted. We need.
Oh,
Who the
man.
Who
And
the
that's not
Man
what Who the
is
Man
a
is.
concept.
It's not for your twisted mind, man. Imagine if he said, can you imagine the outrage that would come after this? And it would be annoying because it would be a cancel culture story and we'd have to talk about it. But can you imagine the outrage if Opie was like, hey, Jill Sabil? What the fuck is her name?
That works.
Yeah,
Sobel.
Jill Sabel. She's the man this week. Can you imagine the field day that CNN and the lamestream media would have with that? Oh God, would I have to go to bat for Opie and say he's pushing boundaries. He's a creator who's just saying shocking things to get a reaction. Please don't go after this man. Oh man, Opie, I'm glad that you aren't so crazy as to name her demand this week.
I'm confused by the Who the Man thing and Jill Sobel.
Jill Sobel, I'm sorry. Well, Jill Sobel would be demand because she died. You see?
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I don't understand at all.
Well, if you're thinking, who, you know how every morning you wake up and you think, who demand today? You know that
Okay,
thought
yes.
that runs
Okay, yeah,
across
I'm
your
sorry.
mind? You say,
Yes.
who demand today? And then you scan the news briefly, and boy, do I mean briefly, so much so that you see the title of a song and report that Katy Perry died. By the of all the weeks, like Katy Perry had a dip in her career where she was kind of irrelevant for a little while. Of all the weeks to say Katy Perry's dead, she just went to fucking space and came back and kissed the ground.
Yeah. Well, low Earth orbit, but we'll call it space.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it. He's like, yeah, I kissed a girl and I liked it lady is dead.
I don't think his brain works, Mike. I think he's just.
Well, she is the man. Let's keep going.
All right, Wild Bunch now. It's time for the.
Oh my God! And we're gonna hear from these guys later. I wanted to delay it a little bit. I wanted to give you guys a little prep time. Opie's gonna talk about this Gephardt show, and brace yourselves, because later we're not just gonna hear about the show. We're gonna hear from the guys themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But this is Opie. Click your seatbelts in and put your helmets on. This is gonna be a bumpy ride hearing about these fellas.
We did an Opie Radio podcast live at Gephardt's. I love doing those. They're crazy. What I mean by they're crazy, they're just completely out of control. I love.
No, we got it. But wait, here's what I mean by crazy. Opie said the "I kissed a girl and I liked it" lady died and didn't explain himself. But when he goes, "Yeah, the show I did yesterday was crazy," here's what I mean by that.
Action. I love the energy. I love the chaos. And, there are some guys that appear on live at Gephardt's that might jump into some gummies. Others drink a little beer.
Oh, man. That sounds fucking metal. That sounds bananas. They go to a bar and they have a 5 milligram gummy and drink a fucking IPA. These guys are out of their fucking minds. I don't know if I can handle them.
It's a morning zoo.
In many ways.
But the last one we did at Gephardt's, and you can check it out. It's on my podcast feed, Opie Radio.
Oh, we will.
We all were deep into cold medicine. We all had crappy eyes that were shut. We were sneezing. We were wheezing. We had itchy eyes. So we decided.
Whoa. You didn't. I guess I didn't tell you to do it, but you just didn't instinctively bleep all this. We don't want it on our YouTube channel. You can't just have this kind of talk out there. Like, Opie's fucking crazy. He'll broadcast that shit. But I'm just trying to make a little living for myself here. I can't put us at risk by having out there that men in their 60s have the sniffles. That is fucking nuts. What are you doing, Casey? You're fucking me here. Bleep that stuff next time it comes up.
I'm sorry. Electra, bleep that stuff next time. God damn it, Electra.
All right. This is madness. Go to Opie's channel if you want that kind of shock jockery.
I did no joke. Because now at Gephardt's, we want to be doing the live stream on the streets of New York City, but the pollen was so bad and we were all suffering so bad. We're like, why don't we hide it?
Crazy. That's like Kinnison in the 80s, man. That's fucking nuts. You guys are taking allergy medication because your eyes are watering? Holy shit.
I remember Bill Hicks' 2 hours on pollen. It was one of the sharpest comedy bits I've ever heard.
You should hear. I mean, just wait. If you think you're shocked now, wait until you hear how many times these guys get up during the night to piss. Oh my God, your jaw will be on the floor. FCC, hello? Is anyone going to put restrictions on these guys?
We're learning about all their holes. Here we go.
So we were hiding in the basement from the pollen. That was the only reason we went downstairs a couple of days ago.
Fucking nuts. That is nuts, man.
It is nuts.
That's the mark of a crazy show when you're like, we have allergies, so we're staying inside. That's how you know guys are zany.
Mike, I can't almost handle this. I might have to take a break and walk around like this.
We are on the highway to the danger zone, my friend.
We may go hell for that last one. I'm just saying.
Yes.
Next was called Rogan Crew.
Oh, we heard from the Rogan crew. Joey Diaz is all fired up, and you know what? So is Opie. And Opie had this very bold take. Someone asked him about Tom Segura. And you know what? It's interesting. Me and Opie kind of have the same take about Segura, where I go, he's just all right. Like, I think Segura's all right. I don't get the level of success he's had, but I think Segura's all right. Or he certainly was. I think he used to be better, but he's all right. But Opie, and this is where I should learn, take a little broadcasting lesson from the Opester, because Opie has the same take about Tom Segura, but he goes, he's just all right. Okay? I don't know if you want me to say it or not, but he's just all right. No one's going to say it, but I'll say it. He's all right. And I thought, oh, why couldn't I present it like that and really make a fool of myself? I wish I was better at that.
Hey, real quick, Mike, I'm just going to pick a chat here random just to see if it agrees with you. Go ahead and read this one, Electra.
Oh.
Compound Media, $9.99.
Oh.
It's in a bar basement. You guys just don't get how wild that is.
We don't.
Anthony knows. He was with this crazy guy when they were shoving wiffle ball bats and pussies. And Anthony's like, why did he save this stuff? He held on in the height of shock jockery. Why did he hang on to the great pollen bit that he had in store? Is that actually Anthony? Is it the real
It
Compound
is.
Media?
Well, yeah. Electra, can you do a quick check there on the phone? But I believe it is, yes.
Well, thank you, Anthony, for your support.
I mean, who else would have $9.99, Mike? It's just, come on.
If you guys think I'm a liberal pussy, imagine Anthony watching this show. He's gonna be tearing his hair out.
OJEDA, look away. OJEDA, look away.
Joe Rogan's got his crew. Anyone that's close to Joe Rogan and in that inner circle, they're just crushing it, making millions of dollars. They're just
that's him.
swimming in money. You know, there was a time when the Joe Rogan thing with his circle of comedians is very similar to Opie and Anthony in our circle of comedians. And in our circle of comedians,
If Anthony really is watching, I want to know Anthony's take on this genuinely, because I'm a massive Opie and Anthony fan, and I would say this is not true. Like, the success of the Opie and Anthony comics kind of came after. Like, Opie and Anthony did a lot to promote these comics with their circle of fans. Rogan has made, because, I don't think it's entirely because of that, but because of Rogan's show, guys are arena acts now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I haven't checked Rich Voss's road dates.
I think he's playing at my niece's bar mitzvah.
I don't know where Bob Kelly's performing next week, but like Louis and Burr got huge. Obviously, Patrice's reputation obviously blew up after he died, and like I've always said, I think Opie and Anthony's legacy is actually bigger after the Opie and Anthony show ended because of YouTube. So many people found the Opie and Anthony show by searching for Burr, Louis, Patrice, Norton, Colin, all these, even guys that weren't on that much, like Jim Jeffries and guys like that.
Or listening to you. That's how I heard about it.
Well, there you go. All those clips would come up. But I don't think the Opie and Anthony show made guys overnight successes. Like Rogan, because of Joe Rogan, Tony Hinchcliffe is an arena act. And I think that's a little reductive. Like, I think Kill Tony is a unique show that got an audience, but a lot of people would say that. Listen to how Opie describes the heyday of Opie and Anthony, and maybe I'm underselling it. If Anthony's still around, I'd love to hear his take on what the Opester's about to say.
Just throw it in the free chat, Anthony. You don't got to pick.
there certainly were a few that were overrated as well, but the show really helped them. Because of the giant Opie and Anthony show, some of these overrated comics that were in our circle, look, spinning around, they were in our gravitational pull, and that kept them going and kept the money rolling for those guys.
Really? All the guys who still have careers? You jackass? All the guys that are still doing... Voss was on Rogan 3 weeks ago. You cocksucker. The one guy who isn't still doing it, like fucking Anthony has a show. Bob Kelly and Voss are on every fucking podcast. Colin's done brilliant one-man shows since the Opie and Anthony show ended. Norton's podcast is blowing up right now. Burr and Louis were massive stars. Who in this crew of guys, unless he means because Patrice died... That's the only career that stopped when the Opie and Anthony show ended. I can't think of who the fuck he's talking about unless he's just looking in the mirror. Opie's the one guy whose career ended the day Anthony left.
Yeah, Electra, we got a response here from the Compound Boss.
Yep, Compound Media says Opie needs to imagine he was responsible for the success of anyone and everyone who was ever even remotely involved with the show.
And right there, by the way, is why Opie's always like, why do people respect Anthony more than me? Why are they? You could call him out for things. It's like Anthony's honest about his flaws and who he is. And he'll say shit like that. Anthony's not a guy that, if that actually is Anthony, he's not a guy that needs to go, oh, no. We're responsible for all those guys. They were in our gravitational pull. No,
It's him, Mike. It's 157K subs on YouTube.
All right, get a hold of yourselves. Jesus, calm down. Hello,
Okay.
She's slipping off the desk, Mike. Check.
Everyone get a hold of yourselves. Christ.
Okay.
No, but like Anthony can give that response and still realize they created something great and legendary, but not have to go above and beyond and patting himself on the back.
All right, let's get back to the tape.
Burned out. Then you notice some of the O&A comedians that couldn't really make it after the show. And the same with Rogan. Not everyone in his inner circle is great. Of course not.
But Opie, by the way, who has watched, I'm going to guess, roughly none of them.
0.
I could see him maybe checking out like Shane Gillis or something. Other than that, I don't think Opie has watched any of these fucking Rogan comics. And they knew, like, BERT KRISCHER was a friend of the Opie and Anthony show, by the way. I think he was definitely on. So, but Opie does this weird thing now where he's like, he said the other day, when he was the Segura thing I was just talking about, he goes, Segura was on the Opie and Anthony show a few times and he was just all right. I'm a pretty big student of the Opie and Anthony show. Anthony, I got another question for you. Was Tom Segura ever on? I don't remember that. Maybe he meant Opie and Jim, but he said Opie and Anthony. He's like, Tom was just all right on our show. And it's like, well, if he was just all right, based on your logic, Opie, how couldn't you make him into a big star if Rogan did? None of it makes sense, but Anthony, you're welcome on any time, by the way, if you're still watching. I'd love to have Anthony on Why You Laughing or something at some point.
Definitely do that. And the next one up here is the chat.
Okay, so this is where the Opster's starting to break a little bit. And people have noticed this over the last few months. Opie really is, he said, guys, he's a hero in many ways. He said, guys, there's a stuttering John void out there, and people need to fill it. Mm-hmm. And tell me if this is reminiscent of anyone looking at their chat that you've seen before.
Love from Italy, Ope. I see you love my favorite dish. I don't know what your favorite dish is. I don't know. I'm sure this is piggybacked with a little hate comment that no one will ever see. But thanks for your $2. All right.
Why would you approach the chat in that way?
It's very adversarial.
It's mind-boggling to me. Either read it and have a little fun with it, because that's not. I'm sure the guy is being shitty. I'm sure it's not an Opie fan just having a good time with him. I'm sure he's trying to provoke that type of reaction out of Opie. But why not read whatever the dish is and laugh? I would even suggest, to get people on your side a little, Opie, maybe even oversell. If the joke is shitty, oversell it a little bit. Poke some fun at yourself. What's the big deal? Rather than let everyone know, hey, if you guys make fun of my blue mouth, I'm going to get really upset by it. So you better not. It's really going to bother me. Don't do it, because I'm going to get really pissed. Oh, why are the chats flooding in? Oh, no.
It is very dark mouth, but yes, don't. He doesn't react things well.
Yeah, just provoke everyone to keep doing that, Opie. That's a good idea.
Yeah, that is the John formula. He is doing the John thing. Next one's called No Norton.
I'd love to hear Anthony's opinion on this as well. So this is an interesting take. When one member of the Opie and Anthony show is out, I really hope Anthony responds to this one, because I have to know, is this true about Jim Norton? Apparently, when one member of the show was out, everybody celebrated. I imagine Anthony's nodding his head at his computer right now. Let's hear who that member is, shall we?
I always thought Bob Kelly, when that miserable F Jim Norton, was going to be in LA or couldn't make it on the show. God, those were the best days, Jimmy. Those were the best days. And we all talked about
That's what all the fans say. Oh, Norton's not here. Terrific. An Opie solo day. Anthony and Jimmy are out. Yay!
Substitute teacher day. Yay!
Got it behind your back. Jimmy's not here.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go back a little bit. We stepped on an important part of that.
Sure. Here we go. There we go.
Were the best days, Jimmy. Those were the best days. And we all talked about it behind your back. Jimmy's not here.
I have to know, Anthony. I have to know. Is that were you going, Opie? Today's the day. We don't have that ugly weight around our neck. Sam and E-Rock are popping champagne. Yes! Norton's not here. The guy who brought all these comics in and the guy who created the tone of the Opie and Anthony show with ball busting. Thank God that albatross is not here to ruin that show. That is what everyone said is, boy, Jim is really getting in the way of Opie and Anthony's chemistry. That's what everyone thought. I remember those days.
Another Stutt Joe move here.
And, when we could book a Bob Kelly or a Bill Burr.
Can I say something else? I personally like Bob Kelly. I don't think if you went on to the Opie and Anthony subreddit back then or whatever their message boards were, I don't think they were like, fuck yes, Bob Kelly instead of Norton. I don't remember that era of the show when people were like, just enough bullshit and hire Bob and get rid of this worm Norton.
Electra, would you read Compound Media here?
Yep. The only person whose absence was celebrated was Opie himself.
What?
It was like the tension left the studio.
Electra, ban this liar from our chat. He's spreading filth. That's ridiculous. I wasn't expecting that answer. I wasn't expecting the guy to come in here and lie like that.
Yeah, he doesn't seem like a fun guy to work with, this guy. Just putting it out there. Just putting it out there. I don't know a lot about the man. Doesn't seem like a whole lot of fun at the workplace.
Chat's
Opie
calling
seems
it the
like a
Nopey
miserable
shows when he was gone. Nopey.
No. What those were, if you search Nopey on YouTube, what people did is eliminated the voice of Jim Norton from the Opie and Anthony show. Yeah, they erased Jimmy. That's definitely what I forgot. There are Nopey shows where they got rid of Opie's voice from the fucking show.
Yeah. He says,
I want to show
they edited Opie out of shows. It's obvious who the angry anchor was.
Yeah.
That's quite the workplace.
Maybe they were
environment
afraid. Maybe Anthony might not know though. Maybe they were afraid to say it to the boss. Like E-Rock and Sam were like, oh, fucking Norton always ruining the show with his funny jokes. Fuck this guy. We'll tell Opie, but Anthony will freak out if we tell him. Maybe that's what happened.
Oh, those days were fantastic. They were just fun.
Fun.
For
They
you.
really were,
Everyone
except for
else
the
was-
listeners.
Yes. It was fun because everyone got to go listen to new radio shows that morning.
And I will say, when it was Opie and Anthony, they had good chemistry. But to me, as a listener, when it was even just Opie and Jim, didn't feel like the same. Like if it was Anthony and Norton in, you were like, yes, the teacher's away and the kids are gonna have some fun. You were excited. I don't remember ever thinking like, oh, good, Jimmy's out.
Yeah. You know what sucks is when the substitute brings in their own curriculum. Oh, that's the worst.
Yeah, Vic Hendley was the curriculum.
The next one's called Job Well Done.
Oh, okay. Let's see what this is.
Why did you block Bannister's super chat? You need the money to move. I don't need any money to move, Dante. And you know what? You're gone too. Barrister's been playing this bullshit game and he finally showed his head as a
problem solved. That'll certainly inspire no one to leave mean comments, Opie. You've just done it. You got rid of the one bad apple in the bunch, and finally you're at peace.
Oh, my God. Were they separated at birth, John and this guy? I mean,
it's crazy. You would think it's scripted.
Yeah.
You would think Carl has a deal with these guys to be like, all right,
exactly.
Opie, John needs a little break. We're going to need you to slide in and step up. Just get Opie's like, I don't know if I have it in me. And Carl's like, just get mad at the chat and kind of everything people criticize you for, show how angry it gets you, if you could do that.
Amplify the criticisms. Amplify the criticisms.
Just make up. Most of the people watching are Opie and Anthony fans, so just make wild claims about the show that they all know aren't true. That even fans can debunk.
Opie, let me ask you, what is your knowledge on singer-songwriters from the mid-90s?
Yeah, don't look up anything you're talking about. That would be
as a hater,
Sing
so
the
he's
wrong
gone.
song.
Just like you. Goodbye. We're not dealing with the garbage. We got people. There's a small amount of people that think this live stream every morning is for them.
Oh, you think we need you? We have 34 other people in here eager to watch.
I'll take those numbers.
It's not for you at all. Okay. All right, I'm going to go now. Guys, thank you very much. I don't know if we accomplished anything. I literally turned
Our
on
day's work.
camera and I said to myself, holy crap, you have nothing to talk about today.
Oh.
But it was kind of exciting to try to make it up in front of your eyes.
Yeah,
and
it really is
we
exciting.
did all right. I'm going to.
It might be exciting if Opie hasn't done that for 30 years now. Opie, even like at the peak of the Opie and Anthony show, they were kind of like winging it. Like they were great at just talking about whatever, the news of the day, busting someone's balls, making fun of one of the interns or producers, whatever. Like there wasn't well-researched topics. If there were, it was from the guy in the chat right now. I'm not just saying that because he's here. It was that Anthony would go on some political rant that he was passionate about or something. Opie never came in with like, all right, guys, I've been working on this one for a few months now. And today's the day I'm finally ready to unveil it to the public. He's acting like this is some unique experience where he's like, today I woke up and I had no fucking clue what I was going to talk about. So yeah, no, par for the course. We expect
one of your eyes. And I think we did all right. I'm going to give myself a passing grade. Yeah.
A+ I give you, Opie.
Oh my God, that guy is amazing.
Well, so now we're going to go down to the basement. Am I wrong about that?
We are. We're heading to the basement of.
Guys, put on the little helmets with the lights on the front. We're going down into the basement of Gepard's.
Guys,
and we're
take
uncovering.
Take your gummy. It's time to get to Gepard's.
We're uncovering madness. So you heard how fucking crazy Gepard's gets. Opie's like, hey, on this live stream, we're just chilling, baby. We're relaxing. We're reading the chat. I'm having my coffee. Just having my coffee. 500 feet above Manhattan. That's the chill zone. The thing is getting nutty when you go down into the basement. So I looked for the most extreme clips I could find from the Gepard show this week. Brace yourselves, folks, because here it is.
A different situation, but yeah, so they use the merge left,
right,
and it's a merge right, but it's a merge sign, so they'll figure it out. Look at your rear view.
So you're supposed to merge right, but the sign said merge left.
That's right,
because they didn't have
That's
a merge.
correct.
They didn't have a merge right sign.
I imagine that, or
Hey,
just, lazy.
take those
lazy
hands off your ears. If we gotta listen to it, you have to too.
It's shocking.
I know this is melting your brains, but we've got traffic talk, baby.
With traffic talk.
And you might think, Mike, you tricked us. We've all heard traffic talk before. Not the way these nuts do it.
Putting up
not high and in a basement traffic talk. All right,
whatever he wants, but the whole situation, there was no sign. All of a sudden, we're bouncing down the road,
right?
Destroying parts of my truck. Woke up 2 kids.
Wait, what happened? You literally were just driving
driving along.
Good.
All of a
And
sudden-
Opie, investigate that. Don't let him slide on that. Ask more questions. That's important. I was
Wait, I
worried
smell-
this cocksucker was just going to say something and no one was going to question him on it.
Wait, I smell boring. Let me dig into this more.
Yes. There might be more there.
A whole trash full of boring. Let me get into this.
It's dark.
Right,
we're
right,
only
right.
doing 20 miles an hour.
Right.
And there, whatever. All of a sudden, we're bouncing. And there were no signs. There's no, hey, watch out for a bump or just good road work. Graveyard.
Was your car a lot lower than everybody else's on the road?
Boy, no one fucking mines a landfill like Opie. Just digging through piles of shit. Certainly there's gold here somewhere. Opie goes to Bondi's fucking island and has got his radar detector.
He just keeps digging down the wrong way. It's amazing. It's a skill.
I got a big old one.
No, I know, but if you were lower because you were in a hole.
He's not Spanish.
The car was lower.
So there was nobody else on the road next to us. So
Okay,
I didn't
all
even
right.
get to like yell at somebody
Thank
else
God.
for it.
I was coming home from the beach house last week. I
More
was
traffic
on the Long Island Expressway. I was in the
Super fast lane?
the super fast lane, and all of a sudden, there was just a giant construction truck in the lane with no warning.
What?
Slammed on the brakes.
Just turn this off. Get it out of here. We're gonna lose our
truck.
channel again.
It's a construction truck. Never heard that
Oh my
phrase.
God. These guys, they're looking at the edge and they're zooming right past it with no regard. You fall off a cliff that way.
How is Red Bull not sponsoring this? This is one of the most dangerous stunts I've ever seen.
Little swerve-a-roo. Yeah, I'm good. I'm
That
good.
Prius will stop real fast.
But I don't have a Prius.
I got jocularity, merriment. Ah, that's how you know we're having fun.
Man's car. I got a man's car.
Yeah, he's got a smart car.
I don't have a smart car. And what's wrong with having a smart car anyway?
You die anytime.
Yeah, the
you
last
hit.
time you were on a smart car, you got hurt really bad.
No, that was
Oh,
my electric
shit.
scooter.
You did not just go there.
Electra, we have a chat. Would you like to read that real quick?
Oh my God.
Yeah, from Compound Media. Stick around for their thrilling yield sign chunk.
Thing?
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah, right.
Same weight, same vehicle class.
True. Remember when it was cool to have
The
an
yield
e-bike?
sign should be the name of the podcast.
There you go.
Everyone, slow down. We're going nowhere slowly.
Madness ahead. Slow down, everyone.
Well, it depends on what vehicle you have.
It's not cool anymore to have an e-bike.
Well,
The crew is nuts, Mike. The crew is nuts.
I mean, I like Opie is really recreated, and he showed, like, the Opie and Anthony show was his vision, man. I don't know if you know that. This is my vision since I'm 18. This is all my vision. I said I'm going to find a guy in a fucking heating duct, and he's going to be an amazing impressionist and very funny. And then I'm going to find an edgy, the first guy who brought true perversion to comedy. I'm going to find him. And he's going to have a bunch of hilarious friends that fit the vibe of the show perfectly. I said that when I was 18. It all came true. And I said, one day, when that comes crashing down, I'm going to do it again. And I'm going to get Ron the waiter. And I'm going to get Matt from Gephards. And when I say, traffic is crazy, they're going to have biting commentary like, that's because you have an EV. Huh? That's what really makes you think.
Well, look, if we're gonna have to do some sacrificing because of all the tariff BS that's going on.
Oh, whoa! Hey, I wasn't ready for that sort of edgy talk. Tariff BS. Man, this guy has thoughts.
His political humor is unquestionable.
We should be able to see, the extra costs in our products.
I agree.
If you want us to shop in America, you got to make everything cheaper.
Hell yeah!
That's the only reason we go to China.
What?
It's not that we're not patriots and all that. It's that we all have a budget, and when you see stuff that is so expensive, and then you find out about China and Temu and Shein, you're going there to save money for your family.
I agree.
Your
And
lips
there's
to
a
God's ears. Finally, someone's saying it. Someone has the balls to say it. Thank you, Opie.
the American companies can make a healthy profit and pay their workers.
That's the craziness that we heard about. Was that thoughtful? The guy responds and goes, well, if we're talking responsibly, it's the whitest, most boring voice. It's fucking Chappelle's white guy voice. Going, well, actually, Opie, when you think about it, here's what the tariffs are doing to this country. And Opie's like, oh, man, you got to see it when the guys get together at Gephards. It's a nut hut.
Mike, look out. There's comedy ahead.
Oh, God. Hold on, everybody. Brace yourself. Ooh, do you feel that? It's right underneath us. There's comedy coming.
Much like Trump, it nicked my ear. So yes, everyone duck.
Look out.
Judge, man.
Hey, by the way,
She's a woman.
Massachusetts, a big story coming out of Massachusetts.
What's that?
The Pekka. Wasn't that
You
out
ever
of
hear about the
Massachusetts?
Mass Pecker?
The Massachusetts Pekka.
That was my name.
Dude, the Mass Pecker was my name in high school.
Oh, Ron! Don't let him get started.
Dude, everything
I
in my power
can't
not to hit the
even.
drums.
Cool.
Yeah.
You
No,
sick.
it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't.
So there's
He really is the outlaw, Mike. He's the one with the dark glasses on in the basement. They have an outlaw in their crew. I'm just saying.
My Pekka. He literally is Chip.
He
Pekka
is,
juice.
He found a chip.
there
No,
is.
wasn't.
There's a woodpecker.
wasn't.
The woodpecker.
There's a
in
woodpecker.
Massachusetts.
Can I tell
Who's
you?
sma-
It seems like you guys aren't having the same reaction I did. Pecker. The bird is a woodpecker, you see.
Fact.
Pecker, particularly out here in Boston, it's what we call a prick. It's what we call your hard cock. We call it a fucking pecker. Because of our accents. That's how we say cock out here. Fucking peckers. And that's also the name of the bird. So that's what makes it such a humorous situation.
Smashing out windows and mirrors of all the automobiles.
Right.
So he's the auto.
If any bird's gonna
Mass
do it, it has
Pecker.
to be from Massachusetts.
Yep,
It's
that's
an
right.
asshole.
He's an asshole.
all right,
He's like, you know what? You
Hey,
guys drive like shit.
That's an offensive term, Tarp. Don't you dare, Ron. I've given you a lot of leeway here, Buster. But now you're crossing a line.
The satisfaction Ron had when he sat back after that zinger was uncomfortable. He was very happy.
Masshole. Get it? You know what that rhymes with.
I don't. Electra, what does that rhyme with?
Keep going.
Smash.
You know, and this goes back to, this. He's annoying as hell tonight.
At least it doesn't.
That should be the intro to their show. These jackasses making the Woody Woodpecker noise.
Could go
Just
in the
to let
outro of
everyone
this
know, retards ahead. Just a group of fucking mongoloids in a basement trying to make something out of nothing. There is nothing there, and God bless them, they're trying to get a spark, rubbing two sticks together to get some kind of spark going.
They really are making nothing out of nothing. Congratulations, guys.
Yeah, so that, I just wanted to do a public service here today and say, and Anthony and the rest of you in the chat, if you're thinking of stepping into the Thunderdome on Opie's YouTube channel, just for the love of God, do it with a little caution and responsibility. Please. It's dangerous out there.
Got a few super chats here, Mike.
By God, let's read them.
Dang Lizard, €5. A couple weeks ago, Katy Perry was cynically made demand for her I'm in space, not in space, and the Pope was demand post-mortem, but this is too far.
It really is. Enough is enough, dang lizard. I agree with you. So Katy Perry was demand, and then a couple weeks later, the girl that wrote I Kissed a Girl and I Liked It.
No, it was a different song, though. She wrote a different song that was called I Kissed a Girl, but it just goes like, I kissed a girl.
Oh.
So he got
Different
the
song.
singer.
Oh, so he got the song wrong.
Yes. Yeah, makes it even better, honestly.
What a jackass. I assumed it was the girl that wrote the song for Katy Perry. But
That's what I thought
That's
at
what I
first,
assumed.
too, but no.
Oh,
God knows she can't write a
I
song.
researched it.
All right, one more here, Mike.
And Jimmy's neglected mother, $5. What if you covering Opie was all part of his 18-year-old master plan? You don't know how deep this rabbit hole goes.
That's frightening.
you're going to go back and look at that tape and realize that was the Crystalia reaction I just gave. My world just came crumbling down. It's all, oh my God! Burn everything!
Chris, that was a
It all makes
Crystalia
so much
Snapchat.
sense now.
I did recognize that as the Snapchat Crystalia moment. That was fun. Oh, gosh.
And from Compound Media, there were more laughs in John Wayne Gacy's basement.
That does seem like Anthony. All right.
Checks out. That one tracks. Hey, Anthony, can you throw up an inward just so we know for sure?
Anthony, what do you think about the blacks exactly? We need to prove it's you. We need to suss out it's you.
Favorite basketball team? Go. All right. All right, Blind Mike, are you ready? It's time for the goal.
We haven't hit the goal in a while. Oh, shit. I should have asked you before the show. Did you get the last clip I sent you this morning?
I did.
Okay.
Do you want to use that one first or second?
No. We'll do that last because it's a big reveal. It's horrifying. So we haven't goaled in a while. We haven't hit our goal. It's been a few weeks. We were off last week. We haven't talked about Aaron the last few weeks. I didn't realize. I'm having trouble even saying this. I was less choked up at the beginning of this show than I am right now.
Oh, no.
The goal is dead. Have you heard about this?
No. What?
There's no more goal. Well, I'll explain. There is, in fact, a goal. But
what are we doing here then?
But he's only allowed to talk about it when people donate, I guess. Like, there's no more... He's allowed to promote the goal when he's reading super chats, but there's no more like 5-minute countdown. I haven't been keeping up to date on Aaron, so you guys are gonna have to help me fill in a lot of blanks here. But by God, he's on a streak. He's going for 13 perfect weeks or whatever the fuck it is. I know you, and you're saying, Mike, we saw the streak break. That doesn't matter. Nothing matters. As long as we can say we have a perfect week. So surely, with all this perfection going on, the gold dying, we have nothing to talk about with Steel Toe. So let's play whatever this is, because I'm sure it's not anything worth mocking.
Bigot on Socialist Media, gifting a membership. Hey, great start today. Hey, and you guys knocked it out of the park yesterday, too. Look at that morning show. Already down to 235 today. And guess what?
What?
235, and after we hit that is perfection.
Oh my God.
That is perfection for this week.
I'm seething right now. I'm so angry. And I worry the anger, I should point inward because I worry a lot of this is my fault, guys. I haven't been covering Aaron lately. And without my seething, Aaron has flourished. And he has gone on to hit goal after goal after goal after goal. This guy's on such a rampage. It's unbelievable to watch.
12 weeks, perfect, and they can't stand it.
I can't! I'm so
Jockey.
mad! Oh, I'm pissed!
Oh, MSO is just out there pacing and staring at the ground all pissed
I've
off.
had a few calls with MSO, and it's taken a lot of... We're doing the work right now, and we're getting through it mentally. And we'll rebound from this some way, somehow.
Got to get to acceptance. Understand.
He got that membership from Bigot on Socialist Media. Uh-oh. I think I can hear that train a-coming. Buffalo Jockey, pass that along. We've got ourselves a nice...
Chugga. What is that coming up behind us? Is there a goal on its way?
Oh, please be a goal train.
Nice little start to today's show. All right, Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Rumble Rants. You know how it goes. Hit like, hit share, hit subscribe. Speaking of Rumble, today is our first day of the Rumble Creator Program. It means a lot more revenue opportunities for the old toe.
Nice.
But it also, I checked it today. I checked the Rumble Creator Program dashboard. Holy shit. Like, in order to... They're not fucking around with this Rumble
No, I got to
Creator
tell you guys, and, you know, people like me and Carl, probably CUMIA, all us fucking cucks, we're kind of afraid to dive into the Rumble dashboard and really talk about just how fascinating it is. I'm not a skilled enough broadcaster to do it, but there really is some good stuff. If you go to Rumble and open up the dashboard, you're like, how isn't every show on the internet talking about this? Oh my God, they have tabs. They have different functions you can choose to do as a creator on Rumble. It really is worth wasting a lot of the audience's time talking about. I don't personally like to do it, and that's because I'm a coward. But hats off to the guys that pull it off.
Yeah, the Rumble dashboard is much like the yield sign. The interest is insane.
Oh my God, it's like traffic in Long Island. It really is something to behold.
Program. Look at the shit that I have to do to hold on to this. You got to You got to go.
Oh, good. No, read all of it, please. I was hoping. Don't leave anything out.
You've got to go. I just don't know how much private information is in. There's a couple of things. Creator.
Hey, you know what? Let's compromise here, Aaron. I've got a deal for you. How about don't show any of it? Because none of us give a fuck about the Rumble dashboard. How about you protect your privacy and don't show any of it? Because none of us could give a fuck about what the Rumble dashboard looks like. I don't go, hey, guys, you know, I wanted to spend the first 20 minutes of the show today. This is very early in the show. This is right out of the gate. And I could tell you, I'm just afraid. What time is it right now, Casey?
12:50 your time.
Oh boy, I don't even know if we really have enough time. We'll do it next week at the start of the show, and that way, if it takes us 3 hours, it takes us 3 hours. But YouTube is changing the way they place ads. So now the ads are going to be at more natural breakpoints throughout the video. And, you know, next week I'll have Casey or Craig bring it up and we can read the whole thing and really break it down. But that's just a little tease. Just a little tease. If you guys can hang on until next week, we are going to talk all about YouTube's advertising strategy. Woo!
Mid-roll talk, baby.
Oh, it's awesome.
I've got to stream 30 hours from Rumble Studio. We'll figure that out. We'll do the members-only shows.
Hey, you know what?
From Rumble.
You do that on your own time. I'm fine with that deal. That's a good deal. You figure it out, and what if you didn't involve us at all in that process?
It's actually kind of gross. They make you do 30 hours of fucking this content on us.
Rumble Studio, and that'll be easy because, let's see, 16 hours a month.
There is so much math on this show.
It is the most mathy show I've ever seen.
Terrence Howard's podcast won't involve this much math.
I was going to say there's some physicists out there like, do less algebra.
Find 14 hours, 4 a month. 8.
Neil deGrasse Tyson's like, slow down, man. Slow down.
18. So we got to find 12 extra hours. So I am going to have to stream more. If I'm going to hang.
You know what, Aaron? I was just thinking that's exactly what you need. I was saying, honestly, and I'm embarrassed. Now that he's announcing this, I'm a little embarrassed to admit it because he's corrected the problem. But I was looking at his channel and I was going, this guy only does 2 shows for 7 hours a day. Was he fucking lazy? I was hoping that you would stream more, Aaron. I was like, I mean, minimum 10 hours. Really, you should be talking longer than you're sleeping. That's always been my motto, is that you have more to say in a day than hours you sleep.
Time to lean, time to stream, as they say. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hang on to, if I'm going to hang on to that Rumble Creator Program, and 5 hours a month, I have to stream exclusively to people with Rumble Premium. Okay. So you're gonna get a little more steel toe because there's a lot of cash in that Rumble Creator Program.
Yeah, that's always why you should do a show.
Give it a bald face. Yeah. Doing it all for money. Yes.
When I see Matt and Shane pop up, I always think like, oh, must be time for them to make a few dollars.
Yeah, get out the wallet. Time to pony up. It's like the cash plate on Sunday at church. Time for comedy.
Let me have been pretty fucking crazy.
All right, Rumble versus YouTube. Next.
Okay, so this is again in the weeds, ranking Rumble versus YouTube, and Aaron is about to make the argument that, I don't know, that Rumble is a more profitable company than YouTube. Listen, I don't use Rumble. I'm sure it's terrific. Some of it seems a little suspicious to me, like some of the numbers I see on there. Similar to TikTok in a way, where it feels like a company kind of trying to inflate the amount of users that they have. But I have no idea. I don't use it, so I can't really speak to it. But this is Aaron justifying his time on Rumble.
Gearheads, let us know if you would like Blind Mike on Rumble. I've suggested it a few times. I think he'd be good over there.
Yeah, would it matter at all? Are enough of you solely using Rumble? My only thing against it is I think the app kind of sucks.
Yeah, you're a liberal. We know. We know you hate
Rumble. That is easy to. Oh yes, that's good for my character. I don't like when I'm scrolling on there and people are saying all these nasty things. I don't like it.
All right, let's see what Aaron says.
Rumble creator program. Yes. Nova, Rumble is not a Ponzi scheme. Rumble is what you call a startup. See, the thing about Rumble and all startups, this is like Pandora and a bunch of them. You know, before Pandora sold to SiriusXM, it never turned a profit. Same with Twitch.
I like when Aaron teaches us. I like when Aaron really lectures us. He's an expert on a lot of things, and one of them is business.
Yeah.
And he's turning his chair around like AC Slater and kind of talking to us like we're equals, you know. But he's giving us the straight dope here.
Yeah, April was a startup too. Yeah.
Twitch never turned a profit. It was a startup. It got investor funding, just like Rumble does now. From like they want right-wing people want a conservative alternative to YouTube, so they fund it, they invest in it, and Rumble now is trying to turn a profit with all this investor money. So they started selling ads. Well, it's a little hard to sell ads because they have a fraction of the audience that YouTube does. And then they started with the Rumble Premium package where you get no ads for like
this is really interesting
$10
stuff.
a month. No ads.
Electra, wake up! Do the show. Wake up!
I'm glad he went down this road. It's really fascinating to most people. All these people who listen to podcasts and don't do them are really interested in the inner workings of Rumble.
Bring back the goal, you bastard!
Ads, plus you get premium only content, which we'll have to be doing very soon. It's not exactly a Ponzi scheme. What they're trying to do is get as close to profitability as possible, and then they're going to sell it off to some big corporation that will either keep it as a loss leader, so they can have a streaming platform.
This is all for Aaron's ego to just be like, look how much I know about business. And this is not for entertainment purposes. It's not for anyone. No one gives a guy in your chat goes, hey, Rumble's a Ponzi scheme. He doesn't give a fuck if it is or isn't. He doesn't have any idea. He doesn't give a shit. He hasn't looked into their books. He's fucking with you.
Aaron was glad he had the PowerPoint ready. He was just waiting for someone to say it.
I'll be honest. I don't know really how much of a profit YouTube turns for Alphabet.
Okay,
because
this is where he gets into a little bit of a he's getting ahead of his skis here a little bit. This is where Aaron's trying to sound a little too smart, and we'll see what he comes up with here.
Keeping all like the bandwidth for keeping all of those videos and that content is remarkably expensive. Does YouTube turn?
It's funny to hear a guy rant like that.
Yes,
So
YouTube.
I think he's so go back just a little bit. It's funny to hear a guy give you this lesson, this lecture, and then actively Google, does YouTube make money? Let's hear what Aaron came up with. What are his findings?
Kind of did that backwards.
And that content is remarkably expensive. Does YouTube turn a profit? Yes, YouTube is profitable.
Damn.
Recent report from Tubic stated that YouTube generated $28.8 billion in ad revenue.
Well,
more than 300 countries that exist on.
Yeah, no, that's nothing. By the way, that's ad revenue, not what they take from us.
No, which is more billions. Yeah.
Contributing 3% to Google's total revenue. What does that mean for profit, though? It says it says it is profit.
It's profit.
Oh, it turns out it is profit. It turns out they're not spending $35 billion on server space.
I think the green number means good, right? That's profit, right? All right.
I love ending that long lecture with like, oh shit, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Damn it.
Rumble's great. They're trying to make money. YouTube's broke. Oh, looks like that's the exact opposite is true. Hackamania's next.
Let's hear about these cocksucking pricks at Hackamania. I hear these guys are trying to scam people out of some event, and it is failing. And I know that because I listen to the Steel Toe Morning Show.
Use the word "come" to get the Hackamania tickets. You get
yes, promo code CUM, where you save, if you are thinking about going, you save so much more money if you use the promo code CUM. I heard if you use Carl's promo code, the price instantly doubles, which seems wildly detrimental. I don't get why you would do that. But use promo code CUM to get an actual discount. Oh, and I should say this. Carl, This was fun. Carl goes, we were doing Who Are These Socials, and at the end he goes, hey, feel free to promote that we're doing the live show in Boston, June 21st. I was like, oh, can I? Can I promote the show that I'm not getting paid for? Oh, yay! I'm allowed. So I am allowed to promote. But no, I will be there June 21st. And don't fucking embarrass me. Don't let it all be Dick Masterson fans. And I want the geary gals. I want the gearheads out there. Don't make a fucking fool out of me. I don't want to be standing all alone at this WATP event at City Winery, June 21st. So if you're in Boston, head out there.
What's the promo code, Mike?
I don't have any fucking idea. Come, CUM.
Gearhead ladies, come with them tits out. Show Carl what we got.
Damn straight.
Hackamania.
Appreciate it. JZ AKP with $2. Oh, yeah, there's the latest onion cope and lie. Yeah, there's no proof. First of all,
there was a tweet up on screen that said, at Hackamania, there's going to be proof of your seed eating.
Oh, really? There's no proof? They're not going to show a video of you eating cum, Aaron? Really? They're not?
You're not going to bring out your mouth babies, Aaron?
I bet they're going to show it, Aaron.
Well, it never happened. Second of all, it's a desperate attempt because suckers like you are at least smart enough not to go to that stupid event. It's failing. People are dropping.
Wait. Suckers like you are at least smart enough to not go to that event. What makes him a sucker?
I know what makes Aaron a sucker.
And we'll see it at Hackamania. But what? He said sucker. So this guy's not going to the event, and he's a sucker for not going. I can never quite figure this guy out. I'm always doing math to keep up with Aaron.
Out of it, and they need something. I got bad news. Let me spoil it for you. There is no reveal. There is no big thing.
Oh, man.
It's another lie.
Damn it.
And they're stacking up.
Patrick Melton, why are you lying to me? Now I'm starting to think you don't have a video of Aaron licking cum out of April's pussy after it came from... I'm starting to think you don't have that. And furthermore, I'm starting to think there's no way you show it at a live event.
Well, I need to get a ticket refund then because I was promised a cum licker, and I need to get
There's
a cum licker.
proof.
Retards haven't picked up on it because you are stupid.
Oh.
But I didn't think that you would. I mean, you guys are Charlie Brown kicking at the football. Yeah. Coltrane with $2. And I'm sorry, JZAKP. I'm just, it's a little too easy for me. It's like punching one of those clowns that keeps coming up at you. It's just kind of.
All the time that's happening. One of those.
Yeah,
I'm already nervous because I know the show's going to end soon. And I'm going to walk out of that fucking door and one of those, Jesus. Punch it down. But it'll be easy.
They're not even worth taking seriously anymore. It's desperation. They're chasing their daddy.
Yeah.
True Talent is next.
It is true. They're chasing their daddy at Hackamania. Aren't there like 15 shows at Hackamania, and one of them talks about Aaron?
Yes, I don't think there's. Dr. Steve ain't talking about Aaron.
Although maybe I haven't kept tabs on this. I've been more focused on Carl's show at City Winery, June 21st, right here in Boston, Massachusetts. That's right, folks. You were probably thinking at home, Mike's not allowed to promote this, but I can. The shackles are off. So June 21st, come and see me. What were we talking about? Oh, Hackamania. I haven't kept tabs on this. Have a bunch of the performers backed out since OJ bailed?
Not that I know.
Where people if he's not doing it, it's like Rudy, they're all turning in their jerseys. Like, nah,
no,
I'm out.
No. Dr. Steve had a thing that was at the same time, like a graduation, but they're getting him a private jet. So he will be there. So no one's backed out.
I'm sorry, is that a real story you just told?
It is a real story. I thought I'd throw in some real story there.
They're getting Dr. Steve a private jet?
That's the last I heard. Yeah, PJ to get Diaz.
No.
Yeah. Patrick. Dr. Patrick Nelson. He's the one that said.
And I'm allowed to promote Carl at City Winery.
Okay, now I get it. Now I get it. Okay.
People are dropping out of it, and they need something. I got bad news. Let me spoil it for you. There is no reveal. There is no big thing. It's another lie.
Damn
and
it.
they're stacking up. I'm surprised you retards haven't picked up on it, because you are stupid.
Yeah, I am.
But I didn't think that you would. I mean, you guys are Charlie Brown kicking at the football. Coltrane with $2. And I'm sorry, JZAKP. I'm just, it's a little too easy for me. It's like punching one of those clowns that keeps coming up at you. It's just kind of.
Tale as old as time.
You know, when you're crossing traffic and you're just attacked by a clown.
It's just, I mean, frankly, I'm a little annoyed at Aaron for using the oldest adage in the book.
2 on the nose.
One of those clowns that keeps popping up at you.
Kind of easy. They're not even worth taking seriously anymore. It's
You just walk by the clowns.
desperation. They're chasing their daddy.
All right, here we go. True talent.
True talent. Well, this must be about Aaron Imholt, I would presume.
False. Can't be.
Somebody with $1 says Aaron wants to see his. Oh boy, here it is. All right, let's see what you guys did. Yo, what cheeseburgers, motherfucker? Kendrick ain't shit. These white people, these Jews. I want to see my kids. I'm gay.
That might seem jarring to you. I'll explain.
What is going on?
Go back to the beginning of this clip if you would. I'll give it a full context. That's a clip from earlier in the show.
Okay.
And now people are sending it. You know how we have the segment at the end. Guys, send your favorite clips of me from today. I'll go back and watch them and admire myself. So they talked about Kanye. You know that thing of Kanye that came out where he was ranting about being gay and he's molested by his cousin. I haven't been keeping up with the Kanye beat.
He was blowing his cousin, Mike.
Blowing his cousin. I'm sorry. Yes. I'm sorry. So he's blowing his cousin. Aaron's talking about that story and went on one of his classic riffs. And now people are sending it to him. And Aaron's taking a few minutes to drink himself in here. He's admiring.
Okay.
He's admiring his humor achievements.
He's sitting in his own fart.
A little bit.
Somebody with $1 says Aaron wants to see his. Oh boy, here it is. All right, let's see what you guys did. Yo, what cheeseburgers, motherfucker? Kendrick ain't shit. These white people, these Jews. I want to see my kids. I'm gay.
Soak it in, Aaron.
You know, people think that it's arrogance when I say that I do the best show there is. It's not arrogance. It's just a fact.
Yeah.
There.
Yep. Yeah, when you see a clip like that, it's really undeniable.
Oh no.
You know, because I've seen the clip before. That's why I wasn't on the floor here. And I try to be a pro. You know, I got to keep my post. But it was a little, I was like, do I show this to the audience? Because everyone's already, I'm sure you see everyone's doing it right now. Everyone's turning off this show to go find that full set. They're like, I got to watch Aaron talk like he's Kanye, I guess. Because it's so funny. It's so fucking funny. Let's hear how great he is a little more.
Mikey, full on Steven Seagal this. He's like, I saw the best bit I ever seen. Oh yeah, who did it? I did. He's Seagal this.
There is not a single fucking show. Fuck them all. There's not a single show who can do the Tim Pool thing, who can do the Judge thing, who can do the 99-year-old.
Hold on, I'll explain. The Tim Pool thing. He played a clip of Tim Pool's podcast, and Tim Pool was talking about Israel, and Aaron was like, I disagree with the point Tim's making. And really not a lot of shows can do that. It's very impressive.
Old bit from yesterday who can do the Kanye thing and give you gems like this and be able to laugh at all of it the way I do.
That's true. Most people can't watch clips of themselves and get as much enjoyment out of it as you just did. That is the one true thing he absolutely said. Where that is right, where like not enough people watch their own clips and go, oh my God, I am so funny. Aren't I hysterical, guys? I'm just the best.
He masturbates in front of a mirror. Guaranteed.
Oh yeah, undoubtedly.
He likes
I'm just I'm a different sort. You never met a motherfucker quite like me.
That's true.
Yo, want cheeseburgers, motherfucker? Kendrick ain't shit. These white people, these Jews, I want to see my kids. I'm gay.
It's a unique bit. That's for sure. I haven't heard a lot of other people do that.
And if I may give myself another compliment quickly.
Please do.
I'm a very good face actor.
Yeah,
my
you really
facial expressions are top of the
Do
line.
I detect a note of cum? That's all face acting.
Top of the line. Cottonwood says Bubba can. Maybe.
Oh, that might not make sense to the average person.
I know that one. I could decipher that one.
Bubba the Love Sponge.
Yes.
Is a radio person. I don't know if he's any good. And I've heard his name forever. I just don't listen to Bubba the Love Sponge. Except for when he's reviewing Taco Bell and we play it on Who Are These Socials. That's my only experience with Bubba, which was great, by the way. He seemed like a really great broadcaster. No, I'm sure he does a good radio show. I like that Aaron's like, all right, fine. I'll grant you. Maybe Bubba the Love Sponge is better than me. But nobody else. So, neck and neck for greatest broadcaster of all time. It's Aaron and Bubba the Love Sponge.
That's how well also his chat knows how to fuck with him too. Like they just pick like someone like that so he can. Oh, I guess you're right with him. Yeah,
Right,
Bubba, yeah.
right. That is a name where he'll go, all right, I'll grant you that. He'll say, he'll give credit to, Red Bar, Bubba,
Stern.
maybe CUMIA, maybe Stern, yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Bubba doesn't do impressions like me.
Oh, sorry, Bubba.
Bubba doesn't fly. Well, Bubba can fly off the handle like me. That's true.
Imagine saying that he can fly off the handle like me. Boy, I'm really great when I fly off the handle.
Yeah, it's gross.
Who else can fly off the handle like me? Maybe Bubba the Love Sponge. Maybe Bubba the Love Sponge.
I've said it before, Mike. The worst people that you can run into possibly in the music industry are people that listen to their own music and love it. And this is this guy. This is the guy. He pops it in his own CD and he's like, track 3, here we go again.
Yeah, if you go to Aaron's house, is Steel Toe just playing in the back, on his TV?
Yes.
Another
got,
great
little-
show. Look what I did.
He's got Seinfeld-esque Kramer photos of him around the house.
Yeah.
This one's called, I think it's called Echor?
Encore.
Okay.
Encore.
My bad.
Try and read. I've been making a lot of typos lately. Try and read me. Try and guess what I'm saying.
Well, with this guy, you never know. This could
Encore,
be
yeah.
Encore, here we go.
Just hurtful. Boozamak, you got beat to this one, but I'll play your clip too. Here we go. Yo, want cheeseburgers, motherfucker? Kendrick ain't shit. These white people, these Jews, I want to see my kids. I'm gay.
Yeah, I liked, a lot of people liked the Late Show. I found the matinee to be more enjoyable, frankly. I thought they really hit their stride earlier in the day.
It's the fourth time I heard it is really starting to get funnier, I think.
I'm sorry.
What?
He's laughing.
Oh, Aaron, you did it again.
He's seen it 4 times just like us.
I can't imagine hearing a clip of myself going, oh, Mike, where do you come up with this stuff?
I'm sorry. I hate
This
to talk
guy's
about
good.
I like the cut of this
fucking
jib.
talented I am and how much better I am than all these other podcasting retards. That little facial expression at the end, sold the bit.
Oh, he's talking about his facial expressions?
He wants to fuck himself, Mike.
Look how cute I am. Aren't I adorable? Look at this little face I made.
I've never heard a grown man say that.
Oh, is this guy disgusting? Look at this little face I make right here. Isn't it cute?
Oh, my God. Hold on, I got to hear that one more time.
Podcasting retards. That little facial expression at the end, sold the bit.
Now I need a video of him watching this, commenting on me selling that bit with the kiss thing while I was watching me. It was amazing.
Sold what bit, by the way? I was I was going through the episode. I'll tell you my process. When I go through Aaron's episodes, I put it on double speed.
You get your dick out. Go ahead.
My cock is out. I come during the intro, so that's no problem. So it's double speed, and I'm hitting the 30-second button unless I hear goal-related talk. If I hear Super Chat, Rumble Rant, Streamlab, I'm stopping for a while. So maybe that's not a fair way to assess the show when he's getting into like the Kanye bit. I didn't feel the need to stop and go back down to regular speed and say, "Oh my God, something magical is happening." He's repeating what Kanye said in like kind of a black scent, I guess. "Yo, motherfucker, I'm gay." Now, guys, clip that and send it back to me so I can see how great it is. And when you tweet it later, oh my God, am I going to have a fun afternoon going back and watching that?
I can't wait to next week to watch you and Craig break that down. Oh,
I mean, if we have time after the Rumble stuff, then
it
we
might
will.
It might get its own. Who are these? Or why are you laughing? It might get its own.
Yeah.
It's my ability to commit that crushes them all. Numbers be down. I know I do the same numbers, them 700-800 people at a time, but we're all in the same little Midland area.
I like that he can't even, all this bluster, all this self-congratulation, and even he can't muster the strength to pretend he has more viewers than them.
Just pretend he can't commit. After
It's all been bullshit. Everything you said was a lie. Just say, and I get so many more viewers than that. Who gives a fuck at this point?
And then go back 8 seconds where you say, "I'm the greatest committer. I'll commit to anything." Oh, I can't commit to this.
I'll commit to anything. I mean, granted, I have fewer viewers, I suppose. If I'm being reasonable about, I like that he just said, "There's not another motherfucker like me out there. You're never gonna find another broadcaster like me." Now, if I'm being reasonable, I suppose you could argue that I don't have the same numbers as a Who Are These Podcasts or a Patrick Melton. I suppose if we're being logical about it, then fine.
Fucking whiplash.
Talented motherfucker they've ever laid eyes on. Like, yo, want cheeseburgers, motherfucker. Kendrick ain't shit. These white people, these Jews, I want to see my kids. I'm gay.
It's really well done and well thought out. It's a deep bit that you can break apart. There's so many layers to it.
He's channeling Shakespeare, I think, in this.
I think he's just paraphrasing what Kanye said, right?
Yes. Well, yes.
I don't get why he's patting himself on the back for this.
Added nothing. He added nothing.
I can't imagine. Oh, like an actually brilliant bit. Like Mitch Hedberg's joke about an escalator becoming stairs. I can't imagine him watching that back and going, "Oh my God, I did it." People are going to be quoting this for you. What a brilliant thought that is. And that actually is a brilliant thought. Aaron sloppily paraphrased Kanye. It's not like it sounds like him. Like, I don't get what we're doing here.
Yes or no, Mike? Take a guess on this. Aaron currently has an autobiography he's writing and will not complete until something happens. But this is the kind of man that's writing a book about himself right now, correct?
It's fair. It's at least been tossed around as an idea. That's fair.
Well, this is going in the book. This is like chapter
5. Oh, that guy's fun. I wish I could be that guy. I wish I could be as talented as that guy. Wait a minute.
Oh.
I am that guy.
Good for you. Let's all round of applause, guys. Come on.
That's the ultimate win for the toe.
It really is on so many levels. That's a guy who's winning that I'm watching. That's a guy at the mountaintop. I can barely hear him all the way down here.
Is that Steel Toe or Warren Buffett? I can't tell. My eyes are blurry. It's just all wins. His whole life of wins. Impression is the next one, which is amazing, by the way.
Is this more of his great character work?
Another chapter for the book, Mike.
Okay, let's hear it.
Here, I'd like to show you guys. I told you we do impressions on this show. I'd like to do an impression of a white person sitting on a Spirit Airlines flight in the middle seat.
It might look a little something like this.
And scene.
Thank you. Wow.
Mike, you didn't really miss anything.
Describe, because people listen to this program as well. We get it, Aaron. People listen to this program. Describe for them, if you could, what he did exactly, and really get into the nuance. I'm sure there's a lot of with his facial expression.
Well, Mike, as you know, Spirit is a discount airline. So I think what he's going for is there's a white guy on. So there's a white guy on a discount
this
airline.
poor bastard.
That setup right there is insane.
Oh.
And so now he's got a middle seat, even worse for him. And now he's got his phone out and he's looking to the left and right like a tennis match is going on. But he's looking at the people that are around him are different. How are they different? Well, we'll let you be the judge of that. Let's just say they are on Spirit Airlines. That's the joke.
My God, you've really brought it to life for me. Now, listen. We've all made dumb jokes like that. That's whatever. Like, who gives a shit? I wouldn't have clipped that if not for what came after.
Milking it, I guess, would be the title of this.
This is unbelievable what this guy does with such a who gives a fuck Spirit Airlines joke. Which, by the way, that's ground that no one is. Is Spirit Airlines bad? I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
Is Spirit Airlines uncomfortable? This is news to me. So it's really not tread upon ground at all. Listen to what this guy likes to make a meal, not just out of cum, but out of every morsel that he gives us. He really makes a meal out of this fucking thing.
My Lost Interest says, and the Oscar goes to Aaron Imholt. Hey, real quick though. To make this bit complete, My Lost Interest, can we name what the category was?
Yeah, please, because he's definitely serious.
Need to know what category
I
won an Oscar in. Again, if you guys need a replay, it was I won for my role as white guy sitting in between black people on a Spirit flight. Again.
We get a. It's a sequel.
Yeah.
Oh, he
supposed to
ruined
be
it.
silent. Anyway,
Aaron.
Scene.
It's like when they went to talkies.
Before that, it was like it really was like watching Charlie Chaplin. It's like, how does he do that with his face and his body?
It was amazing. Next one is called Still Blowing Himself.
Well, you might think, Mike, you're making a mountain out of a molehill. That wasn't so bad. You could even argue maybe he was being self-deprecating. Well, wait till you hear this, my friends. It continues. If you thought it, certainly he's done talking about that Spirit Airlines bit by now, you'd be a goddamn fool.
My Lost Interest got that membership from Diesel Cat. He says, your category for your Oscar is the best non-racist and also racist performance by a white podcaster. You know, I've been gunning for that one for years, and it's eluded me. Thank you so much.
Well, here comes the claps.
All right. We're not overusing that button. That's good.
I'd just like to thank the Academy for believing in me. I've been nominated for this award so many times. And after a long time, you really just don't think you're ever going to get it, that you're bound to be the bridesmaid.
He is making a feast out of this who gives a shit joke.
He's got 6 hours to do, Mike. He's got a filler.
God.
Never the bride.
Not every song can be Stairway to Heaven. You need some fillers in there, Mike.
But my performance, when I was offered this role by the director, numero uno Josh Denny fan, and he said, we think this is the role you were born to play. Yeah. White man between two blacks on a Spirit Airlines flight.
I got to tell you this, it deserves this much attention. I was hoping he would congratulate himself for 25 minutes.
We're there.
Keep playing.
We're there.
Yeah. I said to him, I'm going to play the shit out of that role, and I'm going to make you proud. And I just want to say right here in front of this entire
I tell you,
audience,
I like My Lost Interest. He makes some good clips.
Mm-hmm.
Numero uno.
I don't think easier. I don't think in his wildest dreams when he left that comment was like, "Hey, we should give you an Oscar for that performance." It's just a throwaway. If you told My Lost Interest, Aaron's going to spend 15 fucking minutes on your comment. The course of time changed because this guy said, hey, that's an Oscar-worthy performance there. Just a nothing comment that Aaron has sucked his own dick for how long are we going on here for, Aaron? You must be wrapping up soon. Jesus Christ.
And Mike, you didn't see that he had an award somewhere. He grabbed an award out of somewhere. It looked like a participation for soccer in 6th grade award, that size. But he's holding an award to his chest.
What?
Where did he get the award from?
What's a prop show now? Did he pay My Lost Interest to make that reference?
He's Gallaghering us.
Did I make you proud?
Oh, it's a Superman award. It's an award, but it's Superman. It's very bizarre.
Did I make you proud? Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
I guess people say I spend too much time on things. People say like, "Hey, Mike, land the plane here for God's sake." Get there already. You're taking too much time. It's usually not about my own hilarity. It's usually not. It's usually a clip we're breaking down, not of me being hysterical.
Too much of me. I can't stop. Yes. What a battle, Mike, is this one?
Oh, are we battling? Let's hear this.
Thank you. $80 away from today's goal. Help us out and knock out that last little chunk. You guys have done a great job today, an incredible job with today's goal. Let's get that last little chunk knocked out, and then it's a perfect week for the toe. Leah says, we told you to change it. Have more evening shows. No. No. I can't shit on the morning show for this one. They have done a great job. This is the first time today we've been stuck at any point. It has been.
Yeah, so let's not enough. Aaron, I can't even commit to the bit. I'm not as talented a broadcaster as you. The person leaving this comment who says, hey, we need more evening shows. The morning show isn't holding up their end of the bargain. That person is either, I won't say 100%, that person is either fucking with you or alarmingly mentally ill. Like dangerously mentally ill. If the person really thinks like, oh no, the morning show's losing again. I hope Aaron only does evening shows so he can make more money. That person should be in a straitjacket. Or they're having a little fun with you. They're fucking with you. And Aaron's like, hey, no. I want to put your mind at ease. The morning show's doing the best they can, okay? Don't give him a hard time. Come on.
Consistent drop down to 80. They've crushed it. Oh, yeah, I forgot to tell you guys, the evening show crew wants to take away 2 of your morning shows. They want to give you 3 2-hour shows every week, and then they get 5 4-hour shows.
No! Don't let them, Aaron! Don't you let them do that to us!
Goddamn night people. What are they going to learn?
God, these evening show people are always trying to monopolize Aaron's time. And if they had the things the way they wanted them, we'd get no Aaron in the morning. And that's just not fair. It's not like this stuff is on YouTube and you can watch it whenever the fuck you want. I need Aaron in the morning, and it can't be from last night. It would anger me so much.
There's going to be so many Fox News stories that go uncovered. I don't. How are we going to know about these things?
Yeah, if you say, like, Dave Smith and Steven Crowder and any other talking, like, political podcast does it too well, then steel toe is what you're craving in the morning. And for Aaron to take that away from you is just wrong.
You like that hot water? Have you ever heard of lukewarm? Huh? Room temperature?
That's them. That's what they said. So here's what I say. Knock out that 80 and tell them not so fucking fast.
Yeah. Easy, pal. Know your place. Not so fucking fast, evening show. And you got to get these evening show fuckers. You got to get tough with them like that. Not so fucking fast, bitch. You got to kind of get in their grill a little bit, you know?
Yeah. I don't trust an evening show person as far as you can throw them. That's what I always say.
Mm-hmm.
Next one is called "Who Allowed This?"
Yeah, this is what I was talking about at the beginning of the segment. Not on my watch. If I was here, this never would have happened. This is what happens when the chief leaves his post. They run amok
For a bit. Oh, no. $70 away from today's goal. Guys, do me a favor. Knock out that last 70. We got about 20 minutes left in today's show, and it's $70 away from perfection. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats, Rumble Rants. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's rally it up and get this thing done. This week also makes 4 weeks of no beg segments.
What the fuck? You know what that lines up with? The last time we talked about Aaron. Since I've ignored him, he has he's run rampant. He's done whatever the fuck he wanted. Who let this happen? There are no beg segments in 4 weeks?
I think you need to send an invoice for psychological services rendered, Mike. You fixed it.
This is not the steel toe I know. No. This is jarring.
On steel toe. So, do us a favor. Help us knock it out. $5-10 at a time. It's the last goal of the week, and it's perfection.
That's technically begging. Technically, I think.
Well, sure. Fine. If you want to nitpick, I guess. That if he stops the show 75 times and says Streamlabs, PayPal, Super Chat, Rumble Rants, Venmo, whatever the fuck. Fine. I guess you could construe that as begging in your twisted mind. But the point is, there's no real beg segments the way that we know them. So therefore, there's nothing to make fun of Aaron for it. God damn it, this cruel world I live in.
You know those job sites where they're like 0 days without an accident? Mary found another stairs. Let's not count that one. We'll keep it at 0. Mary will be okay. That was on Mary's time.
Yeah.
For the toe. All right.
All right. Last one here for this one is called perfection.
Okay. We're about to hit a perfect week. And how many perfect weeks does that make? Aaron's about to tell us, and this is very exciting.
Oh my gosh, I'm excited.
It was the Eagles. And I'm going to let that go, and I'm going to allow it. You know why? Because Eagle of America gifted a membership on Rumble, and that makes it another win for the toe. Another perfect week for the old steel toe, and that makes 11 out of 12, and that'll make for a very fun Rumble Friday tomorrow.
It
and
really will. I know, because people donated money today, the show tomorrow will be great. Now you're probably asking, Mike, how does that equate? If I give $400 to you today, your show next week is going to be good? I dare you to find out.
How is 11 out of 12 perfection? Can
11 out of 12 perfect weeks. So the individual weeks are perfect. And that happened 11 times in the last 12 weeks.
What happened that one week? Doesn't that...
We were imperfect.
But doesn't that mean...
No. No, that's stupid.
Okay, sorry. I'm sorry.
No, we're perfect every week except for one.
Okay. Members only show in just about an hour and a half. I'm going to come back.
Oh, good. I was worried because it seemed like you were running out of stuff to talk about now. Give yourself an hour and a half to recharge the batteries. I'm sure a lot of news is broken over the last hour and a half. And I'm excited to hear what you're going to talk about next.
Yeah. You know what? I forgot about the Rumble dashboard already. Can we go over it again? Just a second time.
As again, we're going to start doing the members only shows Thursday at noon. It just works out better for my schedule.
Oh, good.
And
well, as long
I'm
as
going to go
happy.
do it
well, what is the night people going to say about that?
right before I go to the fucking DMV.
That sounds more like an Opie segment there. Who claims if you're doing a show at noon, is that team morning or team evening? I would assume because it's in the PM time range, it's team evening. But you could argue, I think, it's during the workday. To me, that screams morning show.
Right.
You know, the ham and eggers, the 9 to 5ers.
I don't know, because he does end at like 5 or 6, so that would be even. He should just not have a break. Just do all day long.
He should do IRL streaming. We just always, because it is when Steel Toe ends. I'm always watching live. When Steel Toe ends, I'm like, well, now what? You know, what do I do for the rest? I wish Aaron was just always on, telling me all the places I could donate if I so choose.
just keep that basement camera on at all times and just go upstairs. Why are you even?
If he
turning it
did
off?
24 hours, I'd be so curious to see how many times he says Streamlabs, PayPal, Super Chat, Rumble Rant, Venmo in the course of 24 hours.
Pay me $500, I'll stay online for the 24 hours and count them.
Thank you.
I would say over under on 24 hours, 3 an hour. So I'd say probably like 65 would be the over under.
Okay, I would go over, but I think that's
Yeah.
a good number. I would go over for sure, but because you got to remember, late at night, it's by the time he has nothing to talk about, it's mostly repeating those words.
Chops up 10 seconds at a time. So yes, we have one more clip from him from today, a special clip you sent this morning.
Okay, well, I was busy celebrating perfection all weekend. I went out with the boys, and we were like, "Perfect week, yeah, that's 11 out of 12." And then one of the guys said, "But if there's one week that's imperfect, doesn't that make all of it?" And we were like, "Fuck you!" We beat the shit out of him. Fuck you. And so I'm coming off that bender, and this morning before the show, I'm scrolling through YouTube, and I see one of these cowards, one of these troublemakers, by the name of So Thorough Joe Burrow. And the YouTube algorithm said, "Mike, take a look at this hooligan, this hoodlum, this ne'er-do-well." I said, "What's he up to?" Because I see a title that says, "Aaron misses his goal on April 24th. And now I do a little math, as Aaron has taught me to do. And I say, April 24th? It was less than 12 weeks ago. Hold on a second.
Oh, no. I'm doing the math too.
Wait a minute here. Something can't be right. So I figure this So Thorough Joe Burrow guy is lying to me, as so many of these people do. Well, let's see what this prick is putting out there about my man Aaron. Let's see the lies that this coward comes up with.
Approachable says, do the extra half hour overtime now and the hour show this. No, we're not doing an hour. I'm not doing a fucking show this afternoon. I said if you guys had another perfect week, I would be so grateful and thankful that we would do another show this afternoon. I'm not doing no, if we missed by 180, dude, we missed by 180. I'm fine with that.
What?
Like, it's annoying. I hate it. I'm very...
Aaron.
Perfect.
Aaron. But you were perfect last week. Aaron, no. No, what is this? Don't show me the rest of this, please.
Very competitive,
No,
so that part sucks.
Don't you
but
play
no.
it. I don't want to hear it.
I'm not paid to play this for you. Listen,
I'm not going to... I don't like Kevin and all these guys now. They're doing extra streams because... No.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. But just a few minutes ago, I heard you say, Aaron, you were doing an extra stream. Just the other day, you said you were getting on at noon. You're ending your show at 10 and 10:30 and getting back on at noon to do another show. I even think I heard you call it a bonus stream.
I heard him say he had to do an extra 10 hours because of the Rumble thing.
This can't be right, Aaron. What am I hearing? So Thorough Joe Burrow edited these clips. This is AI.
It is AI. AI, how dare you? How dare you? This is what you expect from a man from Ohio. I'm just saying.
Take my L. I'll lose like a man. I'll lose like a champ. It sucks.
Lose?
It gives me...
What?
What do you mean
He has
lose?
seen-
Could he be mistaken in the fact that it is perfect still if no one gave toward the goal? So if your goal is 360 but no one gave, that's still perfect.
A perfect zero.
Yes. Maybe he's... I'm hoping. I got my fingers crossed.
feeling. It makes me feel like I ain't got it anymore. But like, that's just because I'm a nut. That's just because I'm a fucking weirdo who looks at.
Hold on. Whoa. This is me making me rethink a lot of things here. We heard Aaron on a day where he hit the goal say, "I'm the greatest motherfucker there is." All right, maybe Bubba the Love Sponge. But other than that, I'm the best guy who's ever talked into a microphone. Isn't it interesting psychologically that on a day where he's not hitting the goal, he's like, "I'm just a big fucking pile of shit. I'm ugly and stupid, and you guys probably don't even like me." This is what Chris D'Elia would do to girls, by the way. This is a predator's mentality. Well, then I guess I'll just kill myself if you guys aren't going to donate fine.
It's most likely what steel does to ladies. I mean, he's not going to separate
Well, this is
from his
now
body.
I start to wonder, Aaron. If you're willing to lie about the goal, the most sacred thing to all of us, what else are you lying about? You lying about things in your relationship with April? You lying about certain court documents? Aaron, say it ain't so. I told that Patrick Melton to go fuck himself when I heard him saying nasty things about you. But now if you're going to sit here and lie to me, I have to question it all.
One show and takes it too. It's also, I have a short memory. I think that might have actually limited contributions today. I think people are fucking sick of my ass. Ooh, our numbers
Aaron.
are fucking shitter
I like this, Aaron.
today too. Yeah, it's just it's gonna another loss from the toe for sure. It is another loss for the toe.
Another loss?
It's not looking
Another?
good today. Oh well.
This was in the
Streamlabs,
midst of
PayPal,
perfection.
Venmo, Super Chats, Rumble Rants.
That's him doing that, not me.
We'll be here till the bitter end. You know us. We'll stay in the bunker with the other Nazis. See what we can do. All right, let's go to our next story. I'm sure it's dog shit, and I'm sure you won't like it. When I was in jail...
Who is this man?
I've never seen this man before. Give his brain back,
I
pod
don't-
people.
Someone tell Aaron that this So Thorough Joe Burrow guy is fabricating clips of him. He's making AI or whatever it is. I don't know enough about the technology, but this miscreant is doing something to sully Aaron's good name, and I don't care for it.
No. Aaron's perfect. Thank you.
He's perfect.
By his definition.
He's a perfect guy with a lot of perfect weeks under his belt. So I don't believe this propaganda that So Thorough Joe Burrow is putting out, but I wanted to expose it to you people so you could say, hey, So Thorough Joe Burrow, knock it off. We're not buying your bill of goods, scumbag. So that's all.
I miss the goal.
I wanted
I
to
miss the goal talk. It'll be back.
It's got to be at some point, right? Well, as we see with So Thorough Joe Burrow, maybe it's never left us. I just haven't gone back through the archives. I was away for 4 weeks, and I just watched Thursday's show. Now you guys have to tell me, are there other lies? There can't be.
Can't tell me if that's not Aaron's real hair color. I just quit.
What else is there, damn it?
What else is there? We have a few super chats, and we'll get out of here and let everyone enjoy their Sunday.
Let's hear them.
Sam V, $1.99. Watch Hackmania free at Discord Spurktopia.
Oh no! Don't do that. Don't do that.
Actually, don't do that. Support our pals.
Yeah, that's
Jesus.
Get Carl a third house. Come on, stop that.
Promo code CUM.
Yes.
And Hulkamania gifted one Blind Mike Project membership. Thank you so much.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you. And the final one here for the day.
11 idle hands for $5. I haven't cringed this hard since George Clooney accepting an award.
Yeah, it was pretty.
Well, you know what's interesting about George Clooney is he met Stuttering John once, and that the interesting facts about George Clooney end there. But let me go on about John for a while.
I'm not a whack packer.
It was a fun day. It was good to be back. Good to see you guys.
Welcome. Where can people find you, Blind Mike?
BlindMike.net. Get on the Patreon, get on the YouTube memberships. You have bonus content and early access. You'll also get early access if Craig ever figures out, which I don't think he will, but let's pretend he does figure out this live show business. You guys will get the first crack at that as well if you are a member. So consider subscribing for that. We appreciate you guys that do, and we appreciate you guys that support the show for free by liking, commenting, subscribing, getting in the live chat, commenting after the show, sharing, all that good stuff, telling a friend. All that helps more people find the show, and we appreciate you helping us out. And right after this, stick around to go watch Casey Day and Electra off on their own, talking about whatever it is they talk about.
That's right. Catch 22 right after the show. And go to HackRideStudios.com for all our good stuff and DJElectrify.com.
Yes.
And Unboxing Eric tonight.
Follow both of these two, support their shows because they help this program out a great deal. So support them to say thank you. And we'll talk to you guys next time. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
And we have a meme transition.
Yeah!
Hey, it's Boogie.
Sappers clear the way. Everyone out there.
Now, this is very interesting. Now, really, ladies, if you're listening, and men, and everybody in between.
If I tell you you've got a homicide, buddy, you've got a homicide.
I hope to hear from you soon.
I am proud to own the Trumpy Bear, and I will always be proud to be an American.
Put it in the outro.
Until then, have yourself a great day, and as always,
There's no cum on my mic.
rock on.
Stop the baloney, huh?
What kind of statement is that?
I wrote it. One of my favorite players to cover when he was here was Mike Vrabel. Tell me Mike Vrabel's story. Whatever, dude. I keep it cool at the gym.
Piss on it.
Fuck you, Mike. Fuck you, Mike. Fuck you, Mike. All right. Stop, my belly hurts.
My dad was in the military.
Was that, sir?
Can you please kindly F off, please?
If a person is on a bridge, threatening to jump, how do we know that he wants help?
Okay, I hope nothing bad happened.
Money, 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 money. Fuck, please.
Anyway, God bless America.
Put it in the outro.